5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live! Hello all, and welcome back to the Invictus stream. My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, Master of the Macabre, and here with the lovely Miss Jo Fallak, with that smoky 1920s eye, and the one and only Mr. Justin Thomas James, whose birthday was just yesterday. And ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that tonight, for Halloween, we are stepping back into Call of Cthulhu. Tonight's adventure is probably the most famous adventure ever published for Call of Cthulhu by Chaosium. It is the original, the perennial game known as The Haunting. And I am so excited to be running it for you guys tonight. Are you guys excited?
Oh yeah.
Did you say it was the peri-anal?
Who doesn't like a little peri-anal? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Invictus stream. Call of Cthulhu is a bit of our jam. We've played a lot of this game and we enjoy it very, very much. However, this is the... Oh, it's not the first time. This is the second time we've run a pre-made module by Call of Cthulhu. I forgot until literally this moment. The original Call of Cthulhu campaign, episode 3, was a pre-made module. So, this is the second time we were running one, but one in its own compartmentalized little state. So, I hope you guys are all ready for some spooky Halloween fun.
Definitely.
Listen to that. Listen to that police siren in the background.
Wow.
They're coming for you.
They do that.
That's not even Dice Stream or Invictus.
That's real life.
That's real life Parkdale bullshit right there.
It's Halloween. I hope everyone's having a really spooky Halloween night. You guys doing anything spooky tonight?
I'm playing Call of Cthulhu with a couple friends.
That's a spooky
that
game.
Fun. Are they?
Do you care if we join it?
I like them. I like them a lot. You know, some people have problems with them, but I don't. I think they're
What the fuck? It's got too real, too fast.
Yeah.
Well, I was handing out... Sorry, go ahead.
I had a spooky nap. Ooh.
I handed out candy for all the kids in my neighborhood, and it was a success because my house was spooky. It was a lot of fun. I love Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. It's like top 12 for sure. It's like, how many holidays are there anyway?
7.
That's pretty much. That's my guess. Between 7 and 12, depending on your religions and all that kind of stuff. Tonight we are running Call of Cthulhu. More on that in a second for people who don't know what it is. But I also want to mention a few things that are coming up that are very, very important. First and foremost, and possibly the only thing, because I can't really think of anything else, this Saturday is the day. If you don't know what the day is, you got to get on board because Extra Life 2018 is happening from midnight on Friday, Saturday morning, to midnight on Saturday, Sunday morning. And we are running a full 24-hour gaming extravaganza.
Get hype. Wait. Dab.
Oh gosh.
Dab.
That's what the kids are doing.
I know, babe. For charity too. And we're doing it now.
You're doing it, Justin. You're doing it.
And for charity. That means that donating to us during the stream, to Extra Life rather, is going to be helping Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals and helping us reach our goal. So, throughout that 24 hours, we have a wacky, zany run of things that are going to be happening. In the early mornings, Joe and I are going to be diving into the most highly rated game this year, the search for the Odin. I don't even know what it's fucking called. It's a mystery ship game by the guy who did Papers, Please. And I should know the name of it, but I don't remember. So we're doing that till like 5 in the morning, from midnight till 5. Then we're doing Life on the Farm with Joe and Harlan. We're doing a little bit of multiplayer Stardew Valley action where we're going to make an Invictus farm and show you how to grow the best crops. What kind of crops are we going to grow for them, Joe?
We're going to grow parsnips largely. We
Definitely.
might get to some strawberries. Probably not. Maybe we'll do a blueberry farm.
A bloob farm. That's crazy. But we're going to do that. So that's going to be in the early afternoon. Then, around noontime, Justin's coming over, and we're doing some crazy co-op. We're going to be playing Overcooked 2. We're going to play Ultimate Chicken Horse, some competitive fun games, and to sprinkle in a little more of secret games in there. At 4 o'clock, Justin is taking over the reins of the stream for an hour. And he is doing Justin Reads, where he is going to be doing a little bit of narrating a few short stories. Do you want to tantalize us with anything, Justin?
Titilize you?
Tit or tant? Or taint?
Well, I mean,
Tantalize.
we're going to be reading some of Mr. Harlan Guthrie's own writings.
Ooh.
That was not.
And then from then on, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, there you go.
I should bring my Agatha Christie book over. You can do some spooky Agatha.
I got tons of books if you just need a book to be thrown at you. Like,
do you have books?
I have one. We could even do some H.P. Lovecraft. Anyway, and then at 5 o'clock, here's where it really gets fun. If we have reached a certain amount of money, we are going to be doing Hot Ones Live, where we are going to be eating spicy food, either chicken wings or popcorn shrimp or something, and answering your questions as we go hot and hotter. Now, we're going to do Hot Ones no matter what. But how spicy we get at 5 or 6 o'clock and who participates is really dependent on how much money we raise. If we get up to an amount, I'm thinking maybe over $1,000 by that point, then we're doing, all 10 wings. All of us are involved. That's me, Joe, Justin, Alex, and Chris. We're all going to be eating all 10 and answering your questions. So, we're going to see how motivated you guys are to help us raise money. And if we raise enough, we are going to be really in pain. And then the pain doesn't stop, because from 7 o'clock till midnight, Joe is running Invictus Annihilation, which I am so fucking excited about, because they don't know this yet. But Joe, I think we need to tell them what Invictus Annihilation is. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to hear this. Yeah, I think we should tell them.
So there's a famous D&D module called Tomb of Horrors. I don't know if you're familiar. It's pretty famous. Gary Gygax wrote it as a way to punish his players, essentially, and also kind of masturbate, I think, intellectually.
As we all like to do at times.
Yeah. So much of the description of this module is like, well, this is a pretty mean trap, but it's also very funny for the DM. I'm going to be running the boys through Tomb of Horrors on Saturday night, and we're going to be playing it in meat grinder mode. We're going to have the boys play their most beloved Invictus and PCs. So, Harlan, do you want to give a taste of who you might be bringing to the table?
That's why, if you notice on the Facebook group, we asked you for your favorite characters that Alex, Chris, Justin, and myself have ever played. And the reason is because each of us are going to be rolling up 3 or 4 or 5 characters that you've seen us play. That means Brandy Jack will be there. Pivot will be there. Charles will probably be there.
Oh, you know who didn't make the list who should be on there?
Who?
The Butcher.
Dennis, he's on there.
He's on there? Oh,
yeah,
okay,
he's on there. He's going to be on there. And I think we're going
to... When a player character dies, some sort of chute will open up in the ceiling and dump the next character into the room, and we'll continue on with the butchery. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really bloody.
So
hopefully we'll see a lot of favorites.
It's like
we're gonna try to rig a way to get out of those chutes that introduce characters. Like,
you
let's
look
kill a
up
character and get through the chute.
Pam is like wedged, and she's like, "I'm not going in there."
Damn straight. Basically, it's going to be like Running Dead meets D&D meets Invictus All Stars, and it's going to be live around the table, meaning, yeah, there's going to be some costume changes. So, if you want to see an all-star fucking game of all of your favorite Invictus characters, first and foremost, keep throwing their names into that Facebook group poll that we have, because the highest voted ones are the ones we're going to pick. And secondly, Join us at 7 o'clock this Saturday night. We're going to be streaming on Twitch, on YouTube, and most importantly, donate. The link is in the description. We already have a $100 donation from David Ionati from just the other day.
Thank you, David.
Which is amazing. And we are really going to be pushing hard for donations during the live stream. 24-hour crazy gaming extravaganza. Be there. Because also it's really lonely. Won't be lonely this year because you're going to be there with me. It's lonely last year.
We'll make it. I'm going to enforce a strict regimen of stretching.
Ooh.
To prevent your legs from coming.
Last year was really bad.
John Regan was very helpful.
He was. I think we need to put on the community because they're sort of. I think they like that. I think John's going to be my stretch captain this year.
Stretch captain.
So
Stretch
cute.
Captain
He needs a little
John.
hat.
I'm Stretch Captain John. Hello.
He sounds just like that too.
He sounds just like that. If you're watching this, and that's now back to the thing I should have said at the beginning. First and foremost, this is an 18+ game. It's going to be Call of Cthulhu tonight, so it's going to be a little bit horrific. Not that bad, actually. Secondly, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video. Give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to us. We put shit like this out all the time. Secondly, that's the third thing. Fourthly, when you're watching, join the Facebook group. The Facebook group is the place, or places, it's typically only one, where we talk to you guys, the community. We hang out, we chitty chat, and you have a chance to earn most valuable post. I'm thinking that we throw it to Justin to pick most valuable post this week. Because I forgot.
This is something we work together over the course of the week. We deliberate. We spend a lot of time talking about who is going to win, and we kind of argue back and forth. Sometimes it comes down to a vote. Sometimes we do rock, paper, scissors. Sometimes there's an arm wrestle. You know, we really feel strongly about the people who should win.
And this is Joe filibustering.
And it's always a difficult decision.
Mm-hmm. We're all three of us scrolling desperately through the Facebook feed right now.
Yeah. It's
who's gonna win it?
Who is gonna win it?
Someone posted a drinking game that you could like autofill for tonight's game.
What?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I can't remember. I saw it on my phone, but I can't find it now on the thing.
God.
Tonight's game. Aisha posted the typical Invictus bingo, but someone pumped one in that was more sort of a new thing.
I'm really into the glove that Marvin Tanner made that has each of our faces on each of the fingers.
Done. Let's do that.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh.
Justin, did you see that?
I'm looking at it right now.
It's amazing. It
Marvin
goes
Tanner.
and Pinky,
Yeah.
then Harlan, then Justin, then Chris, and Alex on the thumb. He goes,
Just
That
like he is.
Amazing. Just like
Crazy.
real life. Just like real life.
yeah.
Marvin, you win most valuable post.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Wow.
That took time. He had to like Photoshop and then cut each one out.
I think he drew, like he cut and then drew. Looks like little pencil drawing.
He's
Are there methods to his madness? Is there a? Can we get like a how it's made, Marvin Tanner?
Marvin, please comment.
Video?
You
How
put
do
the
you make
filablo
amazing
in the blicka blah blah blah.
Are they on Etsy?
I would like some.
I would like
I would
one
like.
too.
They will be
Invictus
my
glove.
bike riding and dog walking gloves.
They will be my everyday gloves.
You like you can't touch anything with them because like you don't want to lose the faces.
No, I feel like
Just
they
walk
would
with
be
one hand
like
up.
if we sponsor him to make them professionally, they would be
Right.
like sewn right onto the finger, like a finger.
That's true.
Like a finger puppets. Have you ever seen those gloves that are like people on each finger?
Yeah, I just saw Marvin post one.
No, I mean like they're like sewn and like they have like little hair and stuff. Someone has to make those, please.
Well,
I don't want to be
Marvin.
We're
Marvin,
looking at you.
working at you, kid. All right, I think. Are we ready to do this?
I'm ready.
I think the
I'm not
community is
ready.
ready.
I'm not ready.
I'm ready. Okay.
Oh wait.
Whenever I say that, I actually am ready.
Yeah, I know.
I
me
know.
too. Should we wait? Do we really want to do this as a private eye and a cop, or should we be a double-headed ogre?
That was you and me. That was our idea.
Right.
What game was that for?
That was for.
It was going to be a dungeon crawl that we never ended up playing.
It was going to be a dungeon crawl, but then you ended up doing Fever Dream, which would have been really tonally different than what it ended up being.
Yes, it would have been very different.
Okay, son, you're not my son. This way. No, I want to save our son. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you. All right, shush, guys. Trying to start the actual game now.
Hello.
It's the call.
Oh.
Of Cthulhu. All right, without further ado, I present to you Call of Cthulhu, The Haunting. Steam rises off of your cup of coffee as you lean forward and listen to Mr. Knott, who sits across from the two of you. There is a house, he says. He takes a sip of his coffee and puts it back down. You look around at the diner, the Blue Bell Café, in the heart of Arkham, Massachusetts, as Mr. Knott takes a breath, almost composing himself, and continues. It was another property I hastily bought. It was at an auction. I had the intention of renting it out, just like one of my other ones. He flicks his eyes towards you, Haley. What does Haley look like?
Haley is in her early 40s. She's in a beige trench coat, her brown hair pulled back, freckles dust across her face. She's got some not quite costume jewelry on, but a little on the cheap side. And she's holding her mug of coffee and looking at him across the rim.
I like the one I rented out for you and your parents all those years ago. I've been keeping properties all over, and then when I heard you got into private investigating, that's why I thought I'd call you and sorry, I don't think I caught your name. And he reaches a hand across the table towards you, Justin. What do you look like?
Well, I look like the type of person who can hold his own in a fight. I've got a dense beard, hard eyes, rough skin, and I've since put out the cigarette that I tried to light in his living room, or in the Blue Bell. Oh right, we're in the Blue Bell, so I lit that cigarette and I smoked it, and I put it out and I reach out and I shake his hand and pull down my fedora.
That it was Ben, you said, right? Ben Whitaker.
Yeah. Ben Whitaker, that's right. Former police.
Fair enough. Well, if Haley trusts you, then I trust you too. Haley and me go way back when she was just a teenager. I rented a house to her parents, and anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track. That's the same thing I did here. I bought this house at auction. I had a nice family move in, the Macario family. But
Macario. I take notes.
Do you, though? Do you take notes?
Pen
Pen and pad of paper.
And book.
They were in a bit of a tragedy. And I guess I want to know, I want to understand what happened. What happened to them? What happened to the house? To set matters straight, you know, sort of. I mean, I haven't been able to rent it since, and I'm hoping that if you can clear things up, the two of yous, set the record straight, then, you know, I can rent the place again. And of course, I'd be reimbursing you for your trouble. In fact, and he reaches into his pocket, and he's wearing sort of a thin white shirt. As he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a leather-bound wallet, flipping it over, and you see the corners are worn and a few billfolds stick up. The scene outside is a Arkham Street on a blistery autumn day. It's probably late afternoon, but with the sky so overcast and gray you could hardly tell. The leaves litter the street and they're whipped wildly as he pulls out a wad of cash, a wad of ones and tens, and sort of quickly shuffles through it and slides across the table $25 towards the two of you. People are moving about the street carrying packages, and the Blue Bell is relatively busy for a Sunday afternoon. That's all I can pay you in advance, but I mean, I'm happy to negotiate any sort of money that you would feel. I could make a killing on this place if I could get it rented out. No offense, Haley.
Mr. Knott, I appreciate your being so generous. What exactly is this job? You said that you wanted us to find out what happened to the Macario family, but you'll have to excuse me. I do like to know the exact perimeters of what we're required to do before I take any cash from you.
Did they die?
No, not exactly. Honestly, I don't know much about it. You know me, I try to keep my hands off when it comes to this kind of stuff. I rent it out, I try not to get too much in people's business. All I know is I came to collect rent one day when they're short, and I find out that they're in the fucking sanitarium. Then I look around, the police say, you know, look, I don't want to get too much into it. I honestly, the whole thing sort of turns my stomach to try to think of it. But I need to make sure that whatever drove them out of that place is going to be safe. That I'm not going to be renting the place out with any sort of looks over his shoulder almost comically. Just any sort of uncomfortableness in the area. I have to be able to tell the next landlords, or the next tenants rather, that everything's going to be okay.
So you'd like us to perform an investigation on the occurrences at the house and report back to you?
Yeah. Or even better, if there's some reason, maybe kids playing some sort of crazy spooks on the neighbors. I mean, it is around Halloween after all. Maybe people just playing Nicky Nicky Nine Doors and these Macarios got a bit too worked up, he says, sort of embarrassed as he looks down, realizing that the very assumption that it would be something so frivolous is a bit ridiculous. Never mind
Haley shares a look with Ben as she slowly reaches across the table toward the wad of bills, kind of looking for his approval.
And I lean in, speaking a little bit, just loud enough that I can be heard. And I say, $25. That ain't gonna buy us groceries for a week. What do you think?
It is the 1920s. $25 is pretty good.
$25 is many
it's many
dollar
dollars.
signs.
Well, you don't buy the same groceries I do, I suppose.
I buy the nice
diamond van.
We got the Johnson case. We got the Winchesters. I mean, we're pretty booked as it is. I mean, if we were going to be taking this case, it would have to be at a premium, Haley. Miss Simmons, sorry.
You do understand, Ben. Mr. Knott here is a family friend. I owe him. He was kind to my parents.
So you're asking me to do you a favor?
I'd like that very much.
Are you saying it's like in front of him?
Other work going on right now, but I reckon we could get this over with pretty shortly. It sounds like a pretty cut and dry case to me. Head to the library, talk to a couple of your contacts at the police station, maybe loop by the house. How's that sound?
Well, as long as we don't have to go to that sanitarium. I never did like that place very much. Fine. You got it, Haley. Only 'cause it's you.
Appreciate it. Haley reaches across the money, counts the bill. Reaches across the table, grabs the money, counts the bills, and stows it away in her little purse.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. And you know, there's more about the Macario family. I think the Boston Globe did a few pieces. Maybe they can share some articles for you as well. Oh, and he turns around and he reaches into a small satchel he has, and he pulls out sort of a heavy iron key and slaps it down on the table. That's the key, and it's 20 Sheaf Street. So, you know.
I'll be right back. My pen's dead, I say as I stand up.
Oh, I've got one right here.
Well, no, I'm going to get one from the bar. Thanks.
You must mean one of these newfangled real keys that everyone's talking about.
He's the one for collecting souvenirs.
Oh, hey, all the power to him. I mean, you got to collect important things. Did you want to ask him anything while you're sitting across from him?
I do. Mr. Knott, when did you lease out this house, 20 Sheaf Street?
When did I first put it out?
Yes.
Oh,
when
God.
When did the Macarios move in?
Oh, it was a few years ago now. 18, I think. Yeah, 1918. So 2 years ago.
And when did all this hubbub in the sanitarium occur? Recently?
The hubbub in the sanitarium? Oh, you mean Mr. Macario?
When did you discover the Macarios to be indisposed?
Well, it was only a little while ago. Basically, it was earlier this month that the old lady ended up being committed to the asylum. The guy before, her husband, Vittario, I think his name was, he was a little bit before that, maybe a month or two. But they were there for 2 years perfectly fine.
Vittario Macario.
Yeah. Vittorio
Italian?
Macario. Yeah, he is. You know these fucking Italians.
I've met a few in my time. What about you, Ben? Do you have any questions for Mr. Knott before we make our leave?
Yeah, why are you coming to us? Why don't you look into it yourself?
Well, that's not my job. I'm willing to pay you. I thought Haley said she was a private investigator now.
Just asking a question, sir.
Well, I don't understand what you, because it's not my job. I'm a landlord. I don't want to look into why these two people went crazy.
The way I
in my
see
property.
it, it's your property. You should be looking into things that pertain to it, and I guess indirectly you are by hiring us, and so I suppose that's fine. I just want to make sure we know every last bit of detail, I say as I look to Haley, before we go walking into this. And if there's anything else that you can tell us, then that would be greatly appreciated before we part.
Yeah, give me a persuade.
All right. The 100. So 51. Let me see what my persuade is. Probably not that high. Persuade? Yeah, no, I don't have persuade.
Haley, as Ben and Mr. Knott are having the final dregs of the conversation finished up, she'd like to just sort of cast a practiced eye over his appearance, see if there's anything out of the ordinary about this man.
Sure, give me a spot hidden. Yeah, he's a zombie.
That is a fail.
He's a zombie, 100% a zombie. You're sure of it? No, and as Ben sort of eyes him over, he sort of like looks a bit nervous, and he's just like, I'm telling you everything. I don't have to rent out the place. I'd fucking sell it. It's the reputation this place has got. The papers published this stuff. They've heard about it. They know this address. I mean, the neighbors, anyone who shows up that I try to show it to, they come out and they say shit. I mean, it's a difficult property to move. I need to make sure that like I can sort of fix its good name.
You have to forgive me, Mr. Knott. I'm not familiar with the area of 25th Street. What is the reputation of this house? Can you tell me?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, a little while ago, this guy goes crazy, and then his wife goes crazy, and they're both in the sanitarium. And I don't know, some of the neighbors said it's got some history before that. I don't know. I inherited the thing. I just got my hands on it, like, a few years ago, so I'm not...
Of course.
You mentioned neighbors. What neighbors said this, that it has some history?
I don't know. There was one guy that sold... I don't know. Well, it's not... Look, the house is in a good location because it's not in other houses. It's sort of right in between a bunch of businesses, right? So I don't know. The guy who owns the cigar shop next door, like a little bit away from it. He seems to always stick his nose in the business when I'm bringing people by.
What kind of cigars does he sell?
I don't know. How does that pertinent? And he sort of casts a weary eye to Haley.
Because I like cigars.
Right. Well, you can ask him yourself. Look,
I think I will.
Do you guys want this job? I mean, the other PIs in town. I'm getting the sense that this is like a hassle to you, Mr. Whitaker.
Not at all, Mr. Knott. We are merely trying to accumulate as much information as would be useful to us in order to help you with this conundrum. Now, excuse us. We are holistic types. We know that certain things may not be seen as important to lay people like you and may end up providing some sort of clue towards solving the issue at hand. Now, if you have no other information to impart to us, I'd just as well take my leave. And I'm happy for the work, and I appreciate your being a patron of us.
Fair enough. And he says, well, let me know you know my number. And he sort of stands up and shifts out of the booth, puts his hat on, and then sort of casts a weird look back at the two of you.
No, I stand up as he's leaving, and I reach my hand out. It was a pleasure meeting you.
He's like, you too, I guess.
And as we're shaking, I say, I love your tie, by the way.
Thank you. And he's like just confused. He's like, all right, be careful, you two. And he turns around, like puts his hat on, and like shakes his head as he walks away.
Has he promised us like additional money on top of the $25 that he's just given us?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He said this was just an
Good.
advance.
Yeah, $25.
Kids playing Nicky Nine Doors, Haley. You really think this is worth our time?
Well, I don't know if two people go crazy in a house within a month of each other because of kids knocking on the door, but...
You said they're married?
That's what he said.
That's reason enough to go crazy. Am I right?
I would never know. What do you think? What's our first stop, Ben?
So there are a few spots, just to, again to let you know. The Boston Globe is a local newspaper. There's always the Central Library or the Hall of Records, and there's also the police station. So there's sort of 4 spots that you could always check that you being a private investigator and you being a lawman, you've used these on and off.
As a private investigator, I would probably know what the fuck a Hall of Records is, I presume.
Sure.
What is it?
The Hall of Records is sort of like the town hall with like zoning and like sewers and like plans and like if you wanted to find out, you know, details on the house.
License plate numbers and all that shit. Government shiz.
Bingo. Like if you needed to find the blueprints for like a town hall, the Hall of Records would be the place to go. Because it wouldn't be at the library, it wouldn't be at the law office, right? Or a police station. And it wouldn't be at the newspaper.
Well, Miss Simmons, I think the question on my mind right now is, why did they go crazy, obviously. I'm also curious, what happened? What happened when they went crazy? Who picked them up? Who brought them to the sanitarium? Why did they know to bring them to the sanitarium? I'd like to know more about the actual night of the events. So I'm sure there are some people we could talk to about that.
Certainly. Well, Mr. Knott did make a direct mention that there were some articles in the Boston Globe. We might go to the library and see if we can find some copies of the newspaper. Try to find out some details that way.
You think we can trust them slime bags? They've never worked well with me before.
Journalists?
Yeah.
Well,
storytellers, really.
It's a
They're
start.
not after the truth.
I think we should get our start there, and then perhaps it'll give us an idea about where we can head off to next. How's that sound?
All right, but you do the talking.
Of course. So Haley settles up the check with a couple of quarters.
Yeah, and the waitress sort of comes over and she's like, "Oh, 10-cent cup of coffee, and you gave me a mighty fine tip."
Tell me, young lady, what's your name?
Martha.
Martha, you must hear all sorts of conversations as you're working here at the diner.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance you ever heard anything about the Macario place?
Can't say as I have, no. She sort of thinks for a minute.
Nothing about a couple going crazy and doing all kinds of mad business?
Actually, give me a luck roll.
Sure.
I'm going to say it's going to be hard. So you're going to need to achieve half of your luck. Because just like odds are so weird.
Do. It doesn't tell me what my luck is.
Yeah, you need to roll up your luck.
Okay, well I rolled a 25 just now.
Okay.
So
roll. I forget what luck is. Actually, let me check for a second. It is right here.
Luck is just like points that you spend.
Yeah, but to get it, you need to roll 3d6 and multiply by 5. So roll 3d6 real quick.
We got, lots of luck. 12,
so you have
16.
100. Wait, what? So
3d6. I rolled 6, 6, and 4.
Yeah, so it's 32 times 5 gives you 160.
But no, 6, 6, and 4 is 16.
6, 6, and 4. Oh, I multiplied
Times
it.
5.
So 80 luck, which means you succeeded. Yeah, you did hard success actually. Close to almost extreme. Okay, fair enough. So she's like, wait. Did you say Macario?
Yes, I did.
And she's like, I do remember.
What's the matter, Martha?
And she's like,
And she puts another quarter on the table and slides it towards her.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, give me one more luck roll.
Okay.
Just because this is funny.
And I win the game.
You win. You've got it.
Nicely
She's the
done.
murderer.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. 38.
Also a success. A hard success.
What's up now?
So she's actually like, you know what? And she sits down, scoots across the booth, and she says, I'm a little bit of a local historian. I'm a really big fan of finding out all of these interesting stories. And it just so happens that I have a little clipping that I kept from last year. And that name rings a bell. And I'm going to post the first article in the Call of Cthulhu evidence file. And you can read it out loud. She runs to the back to her little waitress area and scoops it out of something and slides it across the table to you, and the title is Bloodied Madman Rampages Cops Hill.
Residents of the North End were startled when a man covered with blood rushed out of his home on Monday, screaming obscenities and babbling about burning eyes. The man was identified as Vittorio Macario, a resident of Sheaf Street in Cops Hill. Ben, are you listening to this?
Yeah, go on.
It is uncertain what exactly happened to Mr. Macario, but police speculate he fell down a flight or perhaps even out a closed window. Police apprehended Mr. Macario after he acquired a knife from a butcher shop and was threatening locals. The arresting officer was unable to make out what he was trying to say. Mr. Macario has been interred into Roxbury Sanitarium, and no charges are being issued against him. How strange.
And the date on the article is Wednesday, October 22nd, 1919. So it was almost a year ago. My apologies.
Well, this is passing strange. Thank you so much, Martha. What a terrible shame.
And Martha's like, no, it's fascinating. You know, something happened to the wife recently as well, but I forgot to clip out the article. But I can't remember, unfortunately. I should get back to work.
That's just fine. Thank you so much for your help. You have a lovely day now.
And she nods. And nods at you, Ben.
Never tell you, Haley, you got a horseshoe up your butt.
She said something along those lines a couple times, I recall.
Well, you do. What are the odds the flippin' waitress knew about it?
Sometimes, and I know you don't really believe in this sort of thing, but I have a specific sense about certain people.
Yeah? Does this have more to do with that holistic stuff you were talking about there?
Well, you know, just I think everything's connected, you know?
It's not a 3 or 4th sense. It's like a 5th sense, or maybe even a 6th.
The ghost was me all along.
Everybody knows there's only 3 senses: sight, smell,
kicking ass.
more, and kicking ass. Thank you. That's it.
And these senses. All right, so what are you guys doing?
Sight, smell, and more smell. What do you say, partner? Should we head down to the library?
The library. What happened to the Globe?
Well, I know that periodicals are often kept in microfilm and that we could...
In Boston, they are not. In Boston, they would be at the Herald for sure.
Well, then we should go to the Herald, because that's where I certainly know that the microfilms are kept.
I mean the Globe.
Is it the Globe or the Herald?
The Globe.
Sorry.
You're making my character sound
I'm trying to make notes.
No, just the keeper's an idiot.
All right.
I'm having a specific kind of feeling about some sort of, I don't know, some sort of God presence, not knowing what the fuck is happening in the world.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Sometimes I get that feeling too.
Did you bring your car today? Should we drive?
Well, it's a nice day out there. Fresh fall. We can drive if you like, though, Mrs. Simmons. Miss Simmons.
Let's drive.
All right.
Perfect. So
By
the
let's,
two of
do you
you
mean me, or are you going to take the wheel this time?
Oh, I don't drive.
So the two of you fire up the old jalopy and head over to the Boston Globe. A daily newspaper of good repute. And as you enter, you are greeted by a young woman furiously typing away at the front desk. And she's sort of looking over her glasses and stops every once in a while. There's a flurry of business, people marching back and forth in the background. It smells of ink and paper as you enter. The windy street from outside sort of blows in some leaves in the front door, but the woman barely even looks up as you two walk in from the crisp autumn air. Can I help you? That's the typewriter.
And I step back and gesture to offer Miss Simmons the...
Good morning, ma'am. We're here to inquire about some articles that were previously published pertaining to specific incident. Would we be speaking with you, or is there someone else who would be helping us?
If you're looking for articles, they're not open to the general public. If you have any questions about that, you're going to have to talk to the editor, Artie Wilmont. And she pushes the typewriter, and she calls out, Artie! Artie! And as she does, one of the offices off to the left, the door bursts open, and a big brutish-looking man with balding hair holding an article and a big cigar out of his mouth. He's kind of like, I can't believe we printed this. And he walks out and slaps it down. And it's like, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. And he walks over No, and he sort of walks over and he's like, what is it? And he's sort of like rapping at each person. He's kind of like, no, change that. You need this letter done. What? This? No, you're missing a letter on this one. This is a terrible front cover. This is the best front cover you ever had. Make sure this gets printed. And you, over there, give me a tuna sandwich. And he walks up to the front, big suspenders and his striped shirt and his big pot belly sort of hanging out. And he pushes through the sort of the double wood gate that's very loosely keeping the front entrance off of the bull pit, and he sort of walks around, slaps down on the counter, and looks down at the woman and says, Ellen, what do you want? She says, these people are here for you, Artie. They want to look at the clippings. He's like, oh, do you? Why?
Oh, Artie, is it? I'm Miss Haley Simmons. It's nice to make your acquaintance. We won't trouble you much of your time. I see that you're a very busy man, and very pleased just take up just a moment. Sorry. I'm a private investigator. We are here looking. We have a case, you see. Doing a little bit of research into a specific occurrence that happened just less than a year ago. If you don't mind, we'd really like to look at the archives. Oh, this is my companion here, Mr. Ben Whitaker. Ben is a policeman you'll like to know, I'm sure.
Artie.
And he obviously doesn't recognize either of you, and he's just kind of like, what? So, are you trying to... So, I guess, okay, just to let you know, again, because if you're watching this for the first time, this is a perfect opportunity to sort of show you how Call of Cthulhu works. If you're trying to win him with friendliness, charm is what you want to use. If you're trying to be aggressive, it's intimidate. If you're trying to con him, fast talk would be the answer. In this case, it sounds like you're trying to use sort of a rational argument to persuade him. So I would say use the persuade roll, unless you're trying to aim on more of the friendliness side.
I only have a 10 in persuade, but that's definitely the tactic that my character took. So Perfect. I'll go ahead and roll that, and we'll see if the horseshoe comes up.
Sounds great.
Oh, it did. 7.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How about it?
Horseshoe up your butt.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Louis is excited. Horseshoe up his butt style. So, wow. So Artie sort of takes a big draw of a cigar and puffs his chest back down. He's like, I like your moxie, kid. If you ever want to be a writer, you let me know, because I can get you a seat right here. And he points down at like a guy, and this guy like with glasses like, what? And he's like, that's right, you're out of here, Dwayne. Next time you fuck up an article. And he's like, ah! And he's like starts typing away. And he's like, come here, kid, I'll show you. And yeah, you got in. You're rolling really well. So yeah, he walks over to a woman, sort of an older woman, a bit more lethargic, and she's sort of sitting there smoking a long cigarette, and she's typing much slower than anyone else in the bullpit. And he's like, what was your name, kid? He looks towards you again, Joe.
The name's Haley Simmons.
And he's like, Haley, this is Ruth. Ruth Haley. Ruth, I want you to let her down in the clipping files. Audie's order says it's okay. And he sort of points to himself and speaks to the third person. And he's like, looks at Ben, he's like, man, I guess this guy can go too. You let me know if you need anything. And he walks past you two and heads back to his office.
Nice to meet you, Ruth. We won't be more than a few minutes, I'm sure. Really appreciate your help.
And sort of a thin cloud of smoke comes up from her. She's like, uh-huh. And she stands up real slow. And she's like, come with me. Turns around, pulls a key from her belt, unlocks a door, and you begin down some steps, being led by Ruth Blake, the records keeper, into a dusty basement filled with filing cabinets stacked high with old newspapers and other assorted junk. The whole room smells musty, and the boiler system in the corner gives out a lot of heat. It's sort of a cramped little room. And she sort of walks to the bottom and says, if you're looking for anything pertaining to a person, you check by last name. If you're looking for an address or a house, you can check by address. Let me know. And she turns around and heads back upstairs.
Can we check by date?
You can try. And she just starts walking up.
Seemed like a reasonable question.
I suppose they don't organize it that way. Once I went to a bookshop where they organize the books by publisher. Who does that?
Beats me. I don't really read, though, so I don't know.
Well, I suppose I should be the one who leads this research then. Mr. Ben, why don't you take a look and see if you can find any article published about a Macario?
Alright, I can do that. What are you gonna look for?
I'm gonna look for the address, 20 Shift Street.
So you take a short look, and you don't see anything with the name Macario, but you do see something for Shift Street. Again, with Call of Cthulhu, the challenge was trying to get into this area. Therefore, it'd be redundant to make you roll to try to find it as well. So typically, you don't double up challenges. This is a bit of a teaching for Call of Cthulhu as well. I think it's a great teaching scenario. So you find an article, and I'm going to post it right now into the Call of Cthulhu evidence file. Hopefully it's the right one. Yeah, and whomever would like to read that can for this stream.
You, Joe?
Oh, Ben, I think I found something likely. It published Monday, October 28, 1918. That's a year before the bloodied madman rampages. Very interesting. It's called What Haunts the House in Sheaf Street. Something sinister seems to haunt a local Boston house. Whatever it is has destroyed 3 families in the last 40 years. The 2-story house at 20 Sheaf Street in the North End near Copes Hill has been the site of fear, madness, death, and possibly murder since before the turn of the century. In 1880, a family of French immigrants by the name of Ledoux rented the property and moved in. What horrors happened to those people that year will ever be known, save that a series of violent attacks of some kind left both parents dead and their 3 children crippled for life. The house stood vacant for almost 20 years, but in 1909 another family moved in. From the time they moved into the house, Mr. and Mrs. Jones fell prey to illness and sickness, almost as if the house itself were conspiring against them. Their children did not fare much better, though. All of them lived in the house for several years. The tale reached a head when in 1914 the oldest of the Jones children went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife. Oh, my. The Jones family moved out after that, heartbroken at their loss. A 3rd family rented the house in 1917, but left after less than a month when all of them became ill at the same time. Is the house haunted? Perhaps there's something wrong with the water, or some disease still lingers there from when it was built. In any case, anyone who dares live there now had better be brave and strong, for they take their lives into their own hands. And the article, Ben, it's crossed out with a red pen, and written on the side in the margin it says, "Do not print. This speculation is beneath the globe. Ed." I guess that means editorial. What do you make of that?
That's interesting. I'll tell you that much. What about this Jones family? Maybe we can find something on them.
Why don't you take a look?
Yeah. Take a
Sorry.
look for anything. Jones.
Yes, you look for Jones, you don't find anything. However, I forgot, you only got one of the articles from Macario, so you do see the other article from Macario as you look for that name.
The wife, right?
Correct. And I will post that to evidence right now if you'd like to read that for us, Ben.
All right. Hey, so I did find something on Macario, Miss Simon.
Oh, what's that?
It's on the wife, what Martha had mentioned. It says, wife of madman committed to Roxbury. In a bizarre repeat of last fall's episode, where a madman who terrorized the streets of the North End, a woman, has been institutionalized. The woman is Gabriella Macario. Gabriella, I don't know. Was committed to Roxbury Sanitarium after she was found huddled on the front step of her house at 20 Sheaf Street, muttering about burning eyes, just like her husband. Last October, Vittorio Macario, husband of Gabriella, burst from his house covered with blood. The madman evaded police for some time, eventually acquired a butcher's knife. That's like that Jones kid. He was finally subdued and later committed to Roxbury. The couple's 2 children are with family in Baltimore.
Gives me the creeps. I can understand now why Mr. Knott might want to have this looked into.
Yeah, it's a bit more serious than Nikki Ninedoors.
Yes, certainly. Haley sort of wipes her dusty hands on her coat.
And as you're reading this, you get a bit spooked as a voice comes from behind you and says, "Find everything," and it's Ruth again, and she sort of snuck down the stairs as you two were sort of in yeah.
Yes, we did, Ruth. Thank you so much for your help.
She says, "Still trying to find by date?" And she sort of laughs as she looks at you, Ben.
All right, I think I'm ready to go.
And she sort of, you could tell that for a moment, actually, give me a psychology roll on her.
Both of us?
Just Ben.
Psychology roll. All right, I'll roll. I don't think I've got much psychology, but we'll see. Probably no dice.
Yeah, no. You can't really you think she's just being rude.
All right, now. And I start making my way up the stairs. I'll see you up there in a bit, Haley.
Oh, I'm coming. I think we've got everything we need. Thank you so much, Ruth, honey. You have a lovely day. Ben, how about we get a sandwich?
Yeah, I could go for some food.
Let's swing by the corner shop. Let's go to the deli, and then we'll decide where to go from there.
All right, to the deli. Hop in.
And the two of you hop in the car and drive over to the deli, which conveniently sits directly across from the central library. And as you drive over, you ponder the case. Side note, if you're watching this live on YouTube or Twitch, please like the video. It's really nice. Just do it because of that. It's nice. And you arrive at the deli. Hudson's Deli.
I'll have a double roast beef on rye, extra mustard, please. Would you have, Ben?
Sure, sweetheart.
Bacon, lettuce, tomato. Sandwich. Please.
Sure, sexy face. And what about you? And he leans behind you, and there's like a small kid, and the kid's like, "Oh, I'll have it." He's like, "Oh, not you again. You get out of here. Vinny, that fucking kid is back." And he runs around the counter, and the kid runs up the street, and then he's like gone. It's like your order's like half taken. And then a big guy comes up, he's like, "What is it, ham?"
A double roast beef on rye, double mustard, please.
Yeah, double. And what was yours, tuna?
BLT. Bacon.
Yeah, BLT. He's like, "Yeah, I'll bring it over." And he turns around, spits on the floor, and goes to cook at the grill.
Remind me why you wanted to come here.
Well, they have atrocious manners, but their sandwiches are the best in town. Plus, it's close to the library.
Yeah, the library. All right, what do you want to talk about? What are you thinking, Miss Simmons?
Well, Ben, so what do you think about that article? The one that wasn't published in the Globe.
Sounds
Do you reckon
like
the house
everybody...
is really haunted?
People are getting messed with. I'm surprised that they didn't edit that. That seems like a great story to have in the newspaper. Think of the sensationalism.
I suppose they gotta have some kind of editorial backbone, looking for the truth and all that. Alright, so what's our next step?
Well, we keep on digging, keep on finding out as much about this house. I mean, it would be pretty damn easy just to go over there, find out for ourselves. But, I don't know. You could call it one of your voodoo intuitions, but I get the feeling that we should know as much about this as possible.
No, I think you're right. I'm not keen to rush over someplace I don't know everything about. Why don't we go to the library? We're right across the street, and
What'd you call it?
library.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry, I misheard you.
It's right across the street, and we'll find out what there is to know. I'm not sure exactly what we're looking for at a library.
We go to the library. We see what we can find about the case. I guess wouldn't they have more articles, or
I suppose.
maybe a history of the town, history of the street?
Keeper, what kind of, as a relative Call of Cthulhu novice, what kind of stuff do people look at for at a library?
That's a fantastic question and a great opportunity to sort of explain a little bit more. With using a library, your main sort of thing is library use, which typically takes half a day per unsuccessful roll, meaning that if you roll and you succeed at your library use, you'll find an article and you can kind of continue doing that until you're, and eventually it'll exhaust and I'll let you know there's nothing more to find. If you fail, you basically wasted half a day. And you can keep trying again and again. There's no ultimate failing. It just means time is the penalty. So you can re-roll library use many times. With the library, there are going to be articles, I should say. However, typically newspapers will only keep them on stock for a certain amount of time. So you will find old articles at the library. I apologize for saying incorrectly at the beginning. But I didn't want you to discount the Boston Globe completely, because there will be articles at there as well. Other than that, you can check the address, or you can check the name, or you can check anything that might come up. Anything that you found from this new piece of information might give you something to research at this new place.
All right. So, well,
generally, sorry, I should say generally, when you're going to the library and you're doing a library use roll, you'll be given the element of what you're looking for that pertains to the case, meaning that there's tiers of information that you're getting, not two options if you ask the correct question. Does that make sense?
sure.
Think of it like a perception roll. In a room, you're going to find the element that is described by the GM with a successful roll. That's the same way a library works with evidence. You're not necessarily looking for a particular thing in the room. It's not like I'm looking for weapons. You're just going to find something that's useful to the player. And that's how library use works. That's a good way of explaining it. I should have done that better.
Cool. Good analogy and very apt for the D&D player.
Yes.
Well, that was delicious. I think I'm ready to go.
That was pretty damn good. I got this one. I say as I put a dollar bill on the table.
What? You're wasting so much fucking money. But you do you.
Thanks, Marty.
Perfect.
That's
So-
the name of the guy who made our sandwich.
So he's like, "Ugh." And you head across the street, and again, it's now sort of early afternoon. It's maybe 1 or 2.
Marty's the only guy I care about in this story now.
Good, because if you die, you're going to get to play him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look like a Marty, though. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
His real name is Bartholomew. But if you cross the streets of Arkham, it's still busy out. Again, it's a Sunday. The shoppers are sort of out and about. And as you cross, the leaves are still creating small whirlwinds in the street, little cyclones carrying the leaves every which way. And you walk up the stone steps towards the Grand Central Public Library in Boston. And as you reach the door, Ben opens it for you, Haley, because he's that, I'm assuming. And the two of you enter the large foyer of the library.
Thank you.
It's montage time.
Boop boop ch, boop boop ch, boop boop ch, boop boop. I always go Phil Collins, but there's no wrong answer. Yeah, so give me a library use roll.
Make
Library use.
library use load.
Library use. Oh shit! I failed, man.
Oh no.
You should do one.
Yeah, you can each roll. Yeah.
My library is 50.
That's not
We're
bad.
I rolled a 64.
So
Oh no.
you spend till the evening. It's about like 11 o'clock. And the library, luckily, is open 24 hours. Just because it would be really boring to have to go home and come back. And the woman sort of walks over, and she's kind of like, "Did you find everything you're looking for?" And you guys are like halfway through 2 shelves out of like 60.
To be completely honest, no, we didn't. I don't know how you guys organize this place, but I can't find a damn thing I'm looking for.
I'm having a little bit of trouble, honestly. I don't really understand the Dewey Decimal System, or at least the specific permutation that you're using here. Could you help us?
Of course, that's what I'm here for, and frankly, I don't want to be here all night.
Me neither.
So I'll let you both re-roll with advantage, which basically works like D&D, except you roll 2 of your percentile die, not your secondary number. So you'll roll 2 of your double digits and 1 single. So for this, let's just both roll. Let's roll 3 die, and we'll say the first 2 are your advantage die, and you'll take the lower of the 2.
I'm confused, but great.
Oh, so roll a bunch of d10s? 3 d10s?
I rolled, 30 and 4.
Yeah, so we'll say that's 40 and 30. So you're going to get 30 as your success. Justin, roll 1 more d10.
I mean, I rolled double zeros and 30, and then I rolled 0 and 4 as my...
Oh, I see. So basically you'd either have like 4 or 34. So yeah, basically yours, Justin...
Yeah, 22.
Perfect. So yeah, you have 22, and what was your lowest result, Joe?
4.
Perfect. That's an extreme success. So based on this, I'm going to give you basically 3 bits of information. So she hands you the first article that you find, and she's like, "Oh, okay. Here, I found something for you." I think it's this. I don't know why she sounds like the same woman you already spoke to. And
all Boston women sound the same.
Apparently. And she hands this to you, Haley, and you can read that out. Or you can look at it, actually. And then anything you want to read, you can. And then she hands this to you, Ben, which is the Boston Herald article. Thus why I said Herald, not Globe. And there will be a third piece of that she will, after the 2 of you scour that, and read anything that you'd like to. In the meantime, I will make Goo Eyes the stream.
So this is interesting. From the Boston Daily Journal on Friday, December 1835. There's an article stub here titled "Weber House Sold." Successful local merchant Henry Weber has sold his recently completed Sheaf Street property to one Walter Colbert, Esquire, after falling ill recently. Mr. Weber stated that he would be unable to maintain the house and accompanying estate with his failing health. Mr. Weber only completed the house this past spring, but neighbors are hopeful that Mr. Colbert will be a fine addition to the area. So there's a Henry Weber who built the house, and he fell ill and sold it to Mr. Corbett.
Right. Now, when was that? When was that issue?
This is 1835.
1835. Okay. I can't read the number on mine, but Walter Corbett, that name comes up in here too. Neighbors sue Cops Hill area resident Walter Corbett. What does ESQ stand for?
Esquire.
Esquire. Has had suit brought against him by neighbors yesterday. Neighbors of Mr. Corbett are petitioning to force him to leave the area in consequence of his serious habits and inauspicious demeanor. Do you know? I don't know that word. Mr. Corbett has made no statement in response to the lawsuit. He resides in the Sheaf Street address he purchased 17 years ago.
Date's 1852 on this article. Corbett sued.
This is 52. 52, that's 28 years before the...
I'm having a Mind Flayer IPA from the lovely folks at Chronicle Brewery. Go check them out. And
Mind if I join you?
Of course, darling.
I also have a Mind Flayer IPA. Cheers.
Ooh, cheers, love.
Justin?
Jealous. I'm jealous. I have a empty steam whistle can.
Did you see, by the way, just to have a little minor interjection here. Actually, we'll say that for the mid-game post.
Okay, write it down. Don't forget.
Alright, so our timeline is beginning to come together, and it's very interesting. So the house was built 1935 by Mr. Weber, sold to Mr. Corbett, and then 17 years later, Corbett was sued by the neighbors due to his habits and inauspicious behavior. Now, we didn't find any results of this court case because it seems, yes, brought suit against him yesterday. So perhaps, I wonder if a newspaper reported on the results of this lawsuit.
And here it is, she says, as she hands the last piece of evidence that you'll find here. Whomever would like to read that.
Lawsuit fights Corbett's will. Former neighbors have issued another lawsuit against local lawyer Walter, that's what Esquire means, lawyer, Walter Corbett Esquire, this time after his death. This is June 25th, 1866. Imagine 1966, what it would be like. The terms of Mr. Corbett's will specify that he was to be buried on the grounds of his house at 20 Sheaf Street, more particularly in the basement of the building. This is just for the birds. Neighbors have raised a lawsuit to prevent the burial from taking place. Mr. Corbett's neighbors first sued him in 1852 in an effort to evict him from the area. Mr. Corbett died June 20, 1866 at his home. Born January 14, 1789 in Boston, he lived much of his life in the house. He leaves being, I believe they meant to write behind. They need a new editor. No living relatives and no funeral service was held. What'd you make of that, Ben?
Well, it limits who else we can talk to. If he doesn't have any living relatives, rather.
Well,
What's this about bespoke oh, right, it's 1866. I wouldn't be able to go to... They wouldn't be tailoring now, would they?
well, you never know. The business could still be around, but I doubt they'd be holding a sale.
Excellent quality, bespoke suits, perfect for the gentleman about town. That could be me.
Such as yourself. Yeah. Now, we don't have any living relatives for the will, but we could find... Is there... can we go to the law house? Or you said that legal matters we could go to the...
The woman sort of leans around from it and says, if you're looking for anything more, you can always check the Hall of Records.
Thank you so much. What was your name?
Abigail.
Thank you, Abigail.
With an E.
With an E? With a double E, E double B?
Abigail Huckles.
Abigail.
Hey, Abigail Huckles! And I'm gonna fall in love with the beautiful man named Ebenezer.
Huckles, did you say?
Well, who knows? The Hall of Records is actually in the same building. It's typically in a much smaller area at the top of the flight of stairs, where the office areas of this library are. And luckily, since you wasted another half a day, not wasted, it's 8 a.m. as you're very tired.
I could go for another coffee, but what say we check out the Hall of Records before we go?
Is there any place we can get a coffee, like in a portable cup?
I think there's a Starbucks downstairs.
A Starbucks? I would get a Starbucks.
I'm Starbuck. Welcome to me coffee shop. And there's like a guy standing there like pouring coffee, and he's like, you know, one day I'm gonna make this a chain. And he hands you like a paper cup with coffee in it. And he's like, Lordy dar.
You spelled my name.
Spice latte, please.
You spelled my name wrong.
Is your name not Bone Watercrar? And what about you, Hallery Slyman?
No, that's correct.
Yar.
There's a
Yar.
silent R-L-R-R-Y in my name.
Yar. Yar.
We go up to the Hall of Records, enjoying our portable beverages.
I'm sorry, Haley. That guy was too much.
I know it's totally fine. He's just that's my older brother. Actually,
Oh, is it?
quite the
And we call them. We don't call them small, medium, and large. Because why the fuck would we do that? We call them Largos, Binpews, and Priticoplas. Would you like a Priticoplas? It's the medium, but fuck calling it medium.
Why didn't you put the medium in the middle?
It
Why
is.
did
It's
you
the
call them
Priticoplas.
small a tall? Very
Because it's taller than the tiny.
Aren't those all just different words for big in different languages?
I don't use that. When I order anything from Starbucks, I just say, "Can I have the medium or the large
I'm
one?"
like, can I have the big one?
I don't know what you mean.
Can I have the smallest one?
This is your nose, and this is you turning it up, Justin. So you walk upstairs to the Hall of Records.
Do 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 do. That's me going up the stairs.
And you open it up.
What was
and
that?
That's the door opening. It's a horse door.
And there's an elephant behind it.
And there's a man standing behind it. And he's like, hello.
Good morning. We're hoping to find some information about a lawsuit that was filed, well, nearly 100 years ago, actually.
Oh, I'm not sure I'd be able to help you with that, but I can try to look.
Oh, all right.
What's your name? You're quite dashing, if you don't mind me saying.
My name's Haley.
My name is Peter.
I'm Ben, Peter. Very nice to meet you.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, let me look. What was the address for the building?
20 Sheaf Street.
Right, and he turns around and he starts searching through. Give me a library use.
Library use?
Library use.
Library more?
Library use.
Library.
Library use. Library use.
Does she get advantage because he's got the hots for her?
I fucked it up by 1. I rolled 51 and my use is 50.
Just use your luck.
I fail, I get 0.
No, spend luck. You can spend luck points.
Now I have 79 luck.
Perfect. And he's like, oh, Haley, I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything on and what you were looking for, but sorry, I'm so charmingly befuddled. But I did find this, and he slides across something of interest. Here's a piece of paper of interest. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm so charmed, I'm sure. Charmed, I'm sure. Charmed. And he walks to the back and continues like, charmed, I'm sure.
It's the last will and testament of Walter Corbett, Esquire. Dated 1866. State of Massachusetts, County of Suffolk. I, Walter Corbett, of the County of Suffolk and State of Massachusetts, being in perfect health of body and mind, do make and ordain this my last will and testament in the following manner. Item the first, I give to the Chapel of Contemplation, Copp's Hill, Boston, Massachusetts, all of my possessions, including my copy of, and then there's a redacted portion, it's been scribbled over with some ink, my copy of blank, and my property at 20 Sheaf Street in Copp's Hill. Item the second, I direct my executor to lease my property at 20 Sheaf Street using the proceeds to fund the church. What church is he referring to? The Chapel of Contemplation. Have you ever heard of such a thing, Ben?
I never have myself. What about you, Pete? You heard of this Chapel of Contemplation?
And he's just like staring at Haley, and he's like, I'm sorry, what? Sorry? What?
Miss Simmons would like to know whether or not you know anything about a Chapel of Contemplation.
No, I never heard of that. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that I'm just awestruck. I'm just so beautiful. You are.
Item the third. I wish my body to be interred in the basement of the property at 20 Sheaf Street as specified by the instructions left to my executor. We've heard that already, Ben. And then item the fourth. I appoint Pastor Michael Thomas of the Chapel of Contemplation in Copp's Hill, Boston, Massachusetts, as my executor to this my last will and testament, this the 17th day of July, A.D. 1865.
And as you are holding this piece of paper, it's sort of folded, and a piece actually is stuck to the back and sort of folds out. It's just a small piece, and it says appearance docket on the top.
Oh, what's this? Appearance docket. State of Massachusetts. V. Pastor Michael Thomas and the Chapel of Contemplation. Date 1912, May the 21st. Pastor Michael Thomas and 5 members of the Church of Contemplation appeared in relation to events in Copp's Hill, Boston, Massachusetts. See report, blah, 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 blah. Center Police Station, Boston, Massachusetts, May 22nd. Case dismissed per someone or other, Daniel Ellsworth. What do you make of this?
Well, that's a report number, obviously. That's the type of number that we use in the police station.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Policey things.
Policey, yeah. Yeah, maybe that's our next stop. If we can get our hands on that report, then we'd know a little bit more about this Michael Thomas character.
I'd also
Church
be
of
interested
Contemplation.
in maybe looking to the library if we can learn more about the Church of Contemplation.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe there'll be more in this report. And to be completely honest, we just spent 9 hours in that library.
I'm absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I reckon, what do you think? We should go to the law house then, to the police station.
Yeah, maybe grab another coffee and head over to the police station.
Maybe another sandwich?
We can get another sandwich. Do you have another place you want to go this time?
You should try Hudson's Deli. It's right across the street, and it's quite good. I could take you there if you'd like, Miss Simmons.
I would very much like that. Yes, Peter. Please, thank you.
Yes,
Please.
I could do both, of course. And he sort of steps out from behind and puts a busy sign, flips it around, and he's kind of like, if it's all right.
Oh, of course. Certainly.
I'm charmed, Peter. Let's go.
The Weber's Discord image of Joe is good. It's really
What
good.
the fuck is that from? That's just my everyday face.
It's good. It's cute. So yeah, okay, you head downstairs and Peter sort of ends up slipping you his number. And the two of you grab another sandwich and you are back in the car. Whereabouts are you heading?
Oh, we're heading to the police station.
The Central Police Station and the higher courts. Perfect. So obviously, gaining access to this will be a bit more difficult. In this case, because it's the police station rather than a library, it's going to probably take a law use. You obviously have existing contacts with it, so it might be something worthwhile. Why don't you give me a law roll to see if you have an established contact first and foremost?
Sure. Now, how do I determine luck again?
Well, we're going to call this a law roll for... Oh, determined luck. Yeah, it's 3d6 times 5.
Right.
So let's do that first.
Okay, so I got 10 times 5, so 50 luck.
Perfect. And then give me a law roll.
All right. Hey, can I borrow your horseshoe there, Miss Simmons?
Let me just get it really quick.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, it smells. Right.
Smells 2 of the 3 senses.
Oh, that's great. That was almost a Walpole.
That's good.
Oh, Ron's got a good one too.
Okay, so 25. I have, my law is 60, so that's a hard success.
Hell yeah, I'll take that. Won't you back?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, and a napkin?
Joe. All right. Let me just see something. Ooh.
The Necmoronicon for redneck cultists, says Langdon. Get it?
The Necmoronicon.
Necmoron.
That's cute. Okay. Yeah. So you do know a contact, Kim Debrun, Debrun, is a clerk at the court offices.
Kim Debrun. Right. All right. Well, I know it's a girl, right? Kim's a girl?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I know. I know a girl here. I say as we open the door to the place, and I walk towards Kim's desk.
Perfect. So, yeah, you walk up, and she sort of looks up to you and says, Ben! Nice to see you here again. Long time no see. That's the long and short of it, isn't it?
Oh, longer than a dog's year. Age. Dog's age? Is that how the expression goes? Sorry to bother you, Kim, but we could use your help. We were looking into something and could use access to the records.
Really? You know that can get me in trouble, Ben. We're not supposed to give access to retirees.
Well, I mean, I pretty much know those record places, you know, off. Oh, damn it. I'm sorry, Kim. It's just been so long since I've been back here. I could just use this one solid. I believe I did a favor for you a few years ago. I'm wondering if I can take that up now.
So you're calling in you're calling the favor in finally, eh? I honestly thought you'd do it a little sooner, but fair enough. And she sort of stands up, gives a side eye to Haley, and says, "You know, part of the reason they don't allow retirees in here is because a lot of them are working with PIs now. But you came in here alone, if anybody asks." And she walks into the room and says, "But I can't let you in. What are you looking for?"
We're looking for report number 381. It's, and I wrote down, I just copied what it said in the book. I couldn't actually quite make out what it said, but I show her what it looked like. We're looking for this report.
She's like, "Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about." And she comes back out and she hands you a report. She says, "This is the only one that was in a file. And that's the only thing you're getting. So you take care now." And she locks the door and goes back to her desk as she sort of points you towards the door. Why don't you read that out for us, Ben?
All right. Case number KK 387 R. Incident, police raid. Reporting officer, Detective James Barrister. Date of report, May 15th. And I'm reading this as we're standing in like the park across the street. James Barrister, date of report, May 15th, 1912. 1912. Yeah, that was the year written in the last report. Based on the sworn affidavits of witnesses outlined in case file SR 71, I, along with my partner, Grant Heslov, and as I'm reading, I look up and I shiftily look around to see if anybody's listening in.
No one is.
Okay. I, along with my partner Grant Heslov and officers Phelps, Dunn, and Lopez, were ordered by Commissioner Turgeson to enter the Chapel of Contemplation and to terminate all members with extreme prejudice. We arrived at 2300 23:30 hours under cover of moonlight and took a defensive position behind our vehicles. Defensive Heslov called to the congregation on the bullhorn, ordering them to something and surrender. Before he could finish speaking, I heard a gunshot and realized Detective Heslov had been shot in the throat. I called for backup, but he was already dead. I ordered Dunn and Lopez to flank the building to the right as I and Officer Phelps provided covering fire. Our superior firepower effectively suppressed the congregation inside, and we were able to push forward in standard 2x2 cover formation. Upon reaching the chapel doors, I ordered Phelps to cover me while I entered and cleared the main room. Dunn and Lopez entered through the rear simultaneously. As we entered, I heard Phelps vomiting behind me. He pointed to the ground and I saw the... it's blanked out again. It was at this point that Officer Phelps put his firearm in his mouth and pulled the trigger. I again called for backup. We heard sounds coming from the basement below, so the remaining officers and myself descended the stairs. We observed a total of 54 men, cloaked in black robes, chanting in a foreign language and holding what appeared to be chalices of wine circled around a table. Lopez indicated to me that the language was Latin. Latin? Among the cloaked men, we recognized several people. Most notably... Why do they redact this shit? Officer Dunn then screamed and began firing his firearm wildly into the crowd. He was crying and pointing at a blank in the center of the room, a blank into more chalices on another table underneath. Officer Lopez fainted and Dunn charged into the group of men. I quickly took a lantern from the wall and broke it on the stone floor, sending the entire chapel in flames. I escaped the chapel as backup arrived, but could not find Officers Dunn or Lopez. And the ensuing chaos. You know, I heard something about this when I moved to Arkham. One of the other officers that was here at the time told me a little bit about this. It belies belief.
And how come this wasn't all over the news?
Yeah, it wasn't in the Globe. They didn't have that. Well, there's a bunch of stuff redacted on here. Maybe the commissioner didn't want this getting out.
No, I can understand why. And Haley is holding her stomach. Oh, I'm feeling kind of queasy. That's a terrible story.
And as you stand out front of the police station, the autumn wind picks up just enough for you to hear a voice on the wind, and you swear it says, "Run." And we're going to stop there for the mid-game post. Well, he did what it said, at least. And that was sort of the nicest sort of way to do about it, him turning around and running.
Goodbye, Justin. Bye,
Justin. Thank you for staying with us for as long as you did. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the big game post. This is the point of the show. We stop the action, we jump to you, the audience, and we say, "Hey, what's up, all? Hope you're having a good time. I'm having a great old time. How you doing? How you doing, Joe?"
I'm doing well.
Yeah? Why don't you tell us what's on your mind for a few seconds? Just, tell us your Halloween story.
So the thing that I was going to mention pertaining to this, the Mind Flayer brew. Oh, yes! For the Extra Life stream, I believe it was Johnny who posted in the Facebook group that they are going to be streaming some of our Saturday night stream. They're going to be broadcasting some of it on their TV. So if you're in the area of southwestern Ontario, go on by to Chronicle Brewery at they're in Bowmanville, and have a beer, watch the stream with some like-minded nerds, and enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, Johnny mentioned that they are going to be working during Extra Life, and they're going to work with a promotion for us. He's still ironing down the details, so I'm not comfortable with saying too much. But basically, my understanding that is any person who donates over a certain amount of money to our Extra Life campaign during the 24 hours is going to get a free voucher to a flight of beers. And anyone who donates over a second amount will be in the draw to win a Chronicle t-shirt. So awesome stuff.
Oh my god. And their t-shirts are like primo quality. They're really nice. Yeah.
So nice. We're really working to try to figure out what the hell's going on with those t-shirts. So Justin, why don't you tell us your Halloween story? Your birthday happened. What happened? How was it besides the you and me portion?
So last night I went to the store and I bought some living creatures, and I brought these creatures over to Harlan's, and he stuck a knife in their heads. And they were delicious. Harlan had me over and cooked me lobster, taught me how to cook lobster, 9 minutes per pound in boiling water. You don't want to lift that lid too much. And also how to make twice baked potatoes. So come on over, everybody. This is going to be my new dish that I'm just going to make for anybody who ever comes over. So
was it yummy?
Yeah. Oh.
Which one was better, the lobster or the potato?
Oh, the lobster,
yeah.
For sure. The potato was great, but it also wasn't $33 per potato.
No,
so,
of course.
But I mean, like, yeah, like it was good regardless of how expensive it was. And it was cooked perfectly. Like it was, yeah, and just like we did garlic butter, and I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Actually,
it was absolutely delicious.
Lobster. And then you went home and played some piano.
Yes.
This is what I read from your Facebook.
I tried. Yeah, I was gonna play piano, and then I ended up not. I was gonna do an audiobook I'm working on. I'm composing some music for, and I was gonna work on that, and then I ended up working on a different, like, more sound effect project, and then I kind of learned that layering sounds and creating sound effects is really tedious and takes a lot of patience.
Not very fun birthday night.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, it was okay. The lobster and Henry were the highlight, and Harlan, but Henry and the lobster.
Oh, Henry is the best. Yeah, so mid-game post, why don't we make a question? Why don't you guys think of a question real quick, and I'll set up the thing, and then you can sort of do this.
What's the thing? First name of Mr. Knott, perhaps?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think that's... I wrote it down. It was definitely said.
I remember. I think, because you corrected me at one point.
Why don't we say that? What's... actually, I don't know if that was said on stream. Or if that was said.
I think it was. Let me
because
see.
Harlan mentioned that guy's name right before we started. He said, we were going to start in a scene where you're talking to blank with blank blank. Yeah, but I think maybe Harlan just... You got it right.
Yeah, I think I did joke about the name during the game. And I said, is it this name? And you're like, no, it's this. And you didn't get my joke.
Okay, so let me just write, what is the first name of Mr. Knott? There we go.
Mr. Knott.
So
nice.
Post your answers to the mid-game post underneath the channel that we have thusly indicated. Mid-game post. And good luck. Good luck to you.
Good luck.
I'm excited for people to use their XP during our Annihilation game on Saturday night. I think that's going to be very useful. I think people will be able to use XP to give equipment to players, which will be helpful. If you need like a 50-foot rope or something and you don't have it and you're like at the bottom of a pit.
Okay. Gotta be like anything though? Like
anything within reason.
Okay, within reason. Yeah.
Not like, 100 cuckoos that are going to savagely attack whatever enemies are in the room.
100 cuckolds?
Cuckoos, like
Cuckoos?
in like Ocarina of Time when you like slash a chicken too much and then like a whole horde of chickens comes from the sky and they just kill you.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's like animal cruelty penalties. There's retribution.
Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Chris is asking if we have updated spreadsheets for XP. Justin has been on top of that, and he's been doing an excellent job.
Well, yeah, I've been mostly trying to. If I did miss a week, I'm thinking that there was a week here and there that I did miss. So if you think that you're supposed to have more XP, message me on Facebook sometime this week, and I will update it to where it should be. But I try to do it during the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, because then I don't have to do it like later on.
He's pretty good about that.
Yeah. I used to be. You should have seen our old system. So before, I used to print the XP sheet every week, and I would have like a sheet that I would add to, and then I would have a sheet that was like the new numbers, and it was like the only way that I figured I could organize it at that point. And I had this, like, by the end of year 2, I think I had this binder like that big, like
oh my god,
printer paper's worth, boxes worth of pages.
Too much effort. I'm calling you right now.
Way too much effort. Way too much. But I mean, the XP is great, and we love keeping track of it. It's just, oh man, that was a lot.
What are you most looking forward to for this weekend's 24-hour live stream?
Oh, the game, the D&D game. 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for that. That's going to be so much fun. So I think like you and Harlan will probably be pretty loopy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I am excited to play a game with Ebenezer Buckles.
Oh, so good.
I think that's going to be hilarious.
Gary Gygax literally described the module as the thinking man's dungeon.
The thinking man's dungeon, eh?
Yeah. So much ego. Just like, oh, you'll get this if you're smart enough.
That is not going to be us on Saturday night.
I mean,
maybe normally would be fine, but Saturday night, no.
He'll like present the same sort of puzzle multiple times in a row just to get you to think like you know how to solve it, and then like some random part during the iteration, it'll just change up so that if you do the correct solution that time, you'll die.
Right.
So
yeah.
it's like punishing in a not fun way at some points, but I think because we have enough PCs to go around, it'll just be like, okay, well, Ebenezer Buckles dies.
Yeah. No. So I've got a character. I'm hoping that they line up. I've got a character named Charles.
Yes, I love Charles.
Okay, so you've met Charles.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm excited.
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? Hello. Oh right, yeah, we did for the vampire episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yes. Oh, so Bjorn wants me to mention to everyone who is part of our Facebook group, and if you're listening right now, you should be part of the group, that there's a poll up on Facebook where you can submit and vote on questions that we will be answering during the Hot Ones segment, which will come just before our stream of terror at the end of the night. So if you have any dying questions, burning questions that you're dying to hear the answers to, pretty good save, hey?
Dying questions that you're burning to hear.
Yeah, burning and dying questions that you'll die to know the burning answers to. Go ahead onto the Facebook group and put your questions into that poll, and then people will vote on their favorites, and maybe we'll answer them live on the air. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll ignore you for the rest of your life. So for the mid-game post, we have one correct answer. Let me just hit the drum roll button. I'm gonna do it in just a second.
All right, she's gonna do it.
Colin Burkhart.
Hey!
Congratulations, you win. you win the mid-game post. Good job, Colin. The first name of Mr. Knott is indeed Stephen Knott.
Stephen Knott, not Don Knott.
You did such a good job. Yes, we will definitely have some expired dairy products, some non-expired dairy products. It'll be exciting. Harlan actually bought some of the Hot Ones official brand hot sauce recently, so we'll be dipping into that, I'm sure. We might bring out one of the bottles that you and Chris opened during the moving day.
That's not even a hot sauce. They just opened it because they're rude.
The Bollywood sauce?
Such jerks.
How you doing, Harlan?
Great. How are you?
You look really great. You look like you're having a great time right now.
I'm having the best time. Such a good time.
Yeah, good. I'm so glad.
I am. I'm having a great time here. This is really great. Yeah, who won? Steven?
Colin.
That's what I said. Keep riffing. I gotta get a glass of water. I'll be right back.
Well, what are you looking most forward to, Joe?
I'm really looking forward to playing some cooperative games with you and Harlan. I think that's going to be really fun. I'm going to pack up my whole rig tomorrow night so that Harlan can come down and pick me up in my computer on Friday night, and then we're going to set it all up in the gaming room. So that's
so
going to be
fun.
exciting. I haven't had an old-fashioned LAN party in a long time.
Right? Don't you love those? Fucking packing out the whole computer.
Yeah,
I haven't had one of those in fucking 10 years.
Since I was in high school, pretty much.
Yeah. My God.
So that's gonna be fun. I'm kind of really looking forward to just being so exhausted and having too many energy drinks and eating pizza and chatting with the community. I'm also really excited to raise some money for Extra Life. Honestly, I feel really strongly about the cause. Obviously, all the money that we are earning, all the money that we're raising goes to sick kids hospitals. The one in Toronto is literally called Sick Kids. I think I mentioned on air last year that I did my clinical placement there when I was training to do what I do for work. So I've been there, and I know how much the children and the parents who attend the hospital really could use the money and really appreciate every dollar that gets donated. So I'm really excited to contribute to the cause again this year, and I'm excited to hang out with the bros. I'm also, I think, probably secretly most excited about the D&D game.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, totally. It is an amazing cause, and I mean, it's really the least that we can do for something like that. But the games are going to be fun. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to connect as a community, and if you're able to join as a community member, for an hour or for 2 hours or for the whole time, and I mean, yeah. It'll just be so fun to just connect and hang out.
We'll have the Discord running the whole time. We'll be chatting and hanging out with you guys, and especially if you want to be up with us during the wee hours of the morning, we'll definitely have time to just chat with you and stuff.
Is anybody going to try to do it? Anybody from the stream?
Michael and Brianna said that they were going to try to kick it with us. They were there for the whole stream last time. Harlan remembers more than I do because he was actually part of the whole stream last time. I think David Johns was there for the whole stream last year. Dustin was there for most of it. Mike was there for most of it. So I'm hoping to see all of our babes, our stream broodlings, stream babes.
Broodling babies, broodling bros, and
brood bros?
brodettes.
That's what they're called. Jeff is gonna be there. What else? Oh, Langdon just lost his gallbladder. Langdon,
my God.
How are you doing, man? You and Harlan are gallbladder bros.
Gallbladder buddies.
Harlan recovered really quickly. Thankfully, he was eating solid foods the day of his surgery, basically like 6 hours after his gallbladder was out. He's like, okay, can we order a pizza? Just
Oh my God.
I think he was kind of resentful that in the months leading up to it, I was like, we should try to be eating low fat, you know, try to keep you from having a gallbladder attack. And then like the day it was out, he's like, fuck that. I want some pepperoni pizza with some garlic dipping sauce. Yeah, how are you doing, Langdon? I hope your wounds are healing up well.
It's a pretty common procedure, I guess, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty common. They yanked it unexpectedly. Well, they shouldn't be yanking it around.
They just like, were you in surgery for something else? And they were like, yeah, we saw your gallbladder in there. We just went ahead and took it out because you don't need that shit.
Probably. Yeah, I think mostly they do an x-ray, and whatever organs are sort of acting up and being rebellious, they're like, out, you out.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just elective. Sometimes you're just like, you know what? I don't need this. Get it out of there. All right, we ready to get back into this? I know everyone's excited.
I'm ready.
I know my face looks flushed. It's just not.
It's not booze.
It's not flush.
It's not booze.
It's blush, actually. Harlan's trying a new blusher out that I gave him.
And I think it looks fantastic.
It's like a deep rose color. I just have to do the contours around the edge of your face and then just all over the rest of your face, and you're good. Good to go.
Yeah. Good. G2G, as the kids say, while they dab. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are done. Without further ado, let us return to Call of Cthulhu, The Haunting. You stand outside the Central Library in downtown Arkham, Massachusetts. You have now collected what you perceive to be the majority, if not all, of the information pertaining to this mysterious house at 20 Sheaf Street. It's only a short drive to the edge of town and to the location of this house. Are you ready?
Well, I think so. I mean, I could use a little bit of sleep, but I feel like there's no time like the present. And besides, if we can wrap this up today, you know, we got a lot of other stuff to do, like we mentioned, Ben.
Yeah, sleep would be good, but we had all that coffee, and I'm feeling ready to investigate this. So, what's the battle plan? Are we at the property already, or we haven't left yet?
We're in front of the library.
We're in front of the library. Oh. Yeah. Where you got a map? Tell me where I can go.
Yeah. Maybe we should ask for directions. I'm not quite familiar with the area. Excuse me, young boy.
Yeah, missus?
Could you tell me where Shift Street is?
Shift Street? Of course. It's right up.
Maine. Oh, money. Give him a quarter.
Oh, of course. I'm so sorry. Here you are, young sir. A shiny dime. Tink.
Give me a luck roll.
Oh, come now. Surely a street urchin like yourself is happy with a shiny dime. 29.
Oh, good. He's like, yeah, miss, thank you. It's up there, blah, blah, blah. And he gives you the address. He gives you the directions.
Thank you kindly.
Otherwise, he happily would have been like, it's up your butt, missus. And ran off.
Fuck you and
then we
cock.
And then we would have been screwed. We would have been screwed. The game
over.
wouldn't have been able to go over.
You never would have gotten anywhere else. Yeah, no, you know the way pretty well, and you get in the car and you drive to the neighborhood around 20 Sheaf Street. Most of the people who lived in this area before the Great War have either moved away or died. There's offices and businesses around, as I've described. They've sort of replaced the 19th century homes, and the house in question, aka the Corbett House, with its overgrown front yard, is now pretty much the only private residence that you can see on the block. There's a next door. There's sort of a cigar shop. The business next to it sort of looks like maybe it's a antique shop, but it looks closed for the moment. And there's a few other odds and sods around.
Should we hit up that cigar shop?
You seemed interested earlier.
Yeah,
Why
let
don't you
me
go
see
on
if we can
ahead?
find that. Yeah, let's check out that cigar shop. Yeah, and I head into the cigar shop and grab a... Yeah, go up to the counter.
Sure. So, do you want to do... Give me an appearance or a credit rating. Your choice.
Credit rating?
Sure.
All right. Do I just look too tired to be dealing with fire?
No, credit rate. Yeah, no. So he's kind of
Do you
like...
look wealthy?
So he's a bit like... you didn't succeed, I'm assuming.
No, I didn't.
So he's kind of like... can I help you?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like a couple of your Cubans. And second of all, you know much about this 20 Sheaf Street?
Yeah, 20 Cubans, you said? Let's get that out of the way first, then. And he walks over to his till and starts punching in numbers. He says,
I said a couple of your Cubans. That's
Sure.
2.
2 Cubans, perfect. And he starts punching in. That'll be $6.
All right. I hand over $6.
And he's a bit surprised. He's like, oh, okay, fair enough. Puts in his till. He's like, all right, 2 Cubans. So he reaches down, grabs 2 big cigars, hands them to you, and he says, they're great smokes. You're going to like these boys a lot. And he's like, sorry, what were you asking about? 20, what's it?
20 Sheaf Street, just down the road. There's a man who went crazy, and apparently he had some issues around the area. They had to take him to the insane asylum. Did you know anything about this?
Yeah, I do, actually. I've been here a few years. He sort of looks over at Haley and he nods. He's like, so this family moves in. Macario. He bought a few small-end cigars off of me not too long ago, but they moved in a couple years ago. Year after moving in, father has a serious accident, and then after, they say he went nuts. And he walks over and he's like, lights a cigar himself. Start smoking. I say, before I continue, what does all this matter to you?
We're looking into something for the landlord.
Private investigator Haley Simmons. Nice to make your acquaintance. Tell me, what did you see with this Macario fella?
Well, I don't necessarily want to be speaking tales. Why don't you give him a persuade roll?
Listen, I can see here that you're a reliable sort of, small business type, but I know a thing or two about cigars. I may not look like the kind of lady who smokes much, but I do know that you overcharge my friend here. And I don't think you'd really want word of that getting out to the general clientele. Now, I know someone at the Globe who might be interested in a story like that.
Try and intimidate.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, how'd I do? Nope.
He kind of laughs. He's like, overcharged your friend. Those are Cuban cigars. They're hand rolled and flown in. If anything, I sold him a little bit under.
My mistake. I thought you said Moobin. Those are the high-end ones.
Your friend was the one who asked for them, lady.
Well, I have a difficulty with hearing. It's not one of the 3 senses.
Listen, buddy, you know damn well you overcharged me, all right? Now, what this lady's saying is the softer side of what can happen to you if you don't tell us what we want to know.
So I'm going to call this a push, which means you're doubling down, but worse consequences if it fails. So give me another roll, intimidation.
Okay.
Push rolls can't be modified with luck points.
Fuck.
Yeah.
No.
So his face drops. He's like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to tell you anything. and you can get out of my store.
Thanks for the cigars, I say as I turn around and leave.
Yeah, and he
My
shuts his
pleasure.
box.
And Haley farts as she leaves. She just does she crop dusts the whole store. And it smells like beef and coffee.
Wow, that's a classy move, babe.
She's a classy lady.
Damn straight. She sounds a lot like you. I'm joking.
Never farted.
I've never seen it. Perfect. Okay, so you lost that lead.
Yeah, that's all good.
We
Yeah.
didn't need that stupid lead anyway.
Totally not important at all. No, I'm just
Did you just fart?
I just farted all over. Oh, that was not a fart. All right, so you're outside in front of the Corbett house in this cigar shop.
So the Corbett house, we can see it from where we are?
Yeah, definitely.
What do you say, Mrs. Simmons? We got the key. Do we just go in, or do we poke around outside of it first?
Well, I'll tell you something, Ben. That police report that you read earlier really gave me the creeps. And, I don't know how you feel about it, but I would be much more comfortable if we had some kind of weapon with us. And I know that you're a retired officer and everything, but do you happen to have a gun with you?
And I pull back my coat to reveal a handgun.
Not that
Got
we'll
my
have to use
piece.
it, of course, but you understand.
I do. Now, if you start to feel strange while you're in there, I say this as I'm lighting my cigar. If you start feeling weird, we get the hell out of there. All right? This isn't worth $25 fucking dollars. We get out, we forget about the whole thing. But if I start feeling strange, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. All right? We gotta communicate while we're in there. Keep talking. It sounds to me like these cops knew what they were doing. They still got fucked over.
But these cops were in the chapel. A chapel of contemplation. So, and this house, I mean, of course, the occupants have been known to go crazy, but that's after living there for multiple years. I'm sure we'll be just fine. We won't encounter any kind of strange or abnormal presence. No kind of a spook or goblin. I'm certain. Let's just go take a look around, see what's up in the basement, see if there's any bodies interred there, and we'll make a full report to Mr. Stephen Knott tomorrow. How's that sound?
Lead the way, miss.
All right. So we cross the street, leaves kind of blow in our path, and we walk up toward the house at 20 Shift Street. Now I'd like to spot hidden before we approach the door. Please.
Sure.
Please.
Okay.
30. So I won the game.
You won the game, so you did it.
That's a regular success.
You blew up the city. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, let me just paint the scene. Dusk is upon you. The sun is beginning to... Yeah, because it sounds better, doesn't it? The sun
we
is
spent
beginning...
a long time driving over.
You really did, and also, who cares? It's better. It's a haunted house. Be there at night.
Well, we caught a nap in the middle of the day.
It's haunted.
Oh no! Fuck. I should have renamed it called The Nothingness. The house. The regular house. You walk across the road as the autumn leaves, wet with the afternoon rain that you napped through, sort of blow crisply across your feet. It sits a small distance apart from the buildings on either side as you see the last bit of sunlight streaking orange across the cloud-filled sky high above you. The gray light that sort of emanates from this house colors the trees on either side of it that are completely bare and sort of a almost foreboding feeling, as if they're leaning towards you. The brick building is overshadowed by these taller, newer office buildings on either side, again, with an alley sort of between them. It fronts the street, and as you sort of peer around the side, you can see what looks to be overgrown plants on the back. Maybe a collapsed arbor. Studying this house, you're impressed by the way it seems withdrawn into the shadows cast by these flanking buildings, and how the blank curtain windows seem to hide all understanding of what lies within.
Well, I don't see anything terribly unordinary.
Yeah, it's gonna be dark in there, I say, and I pull out my pen light. And I gesture to my piece. Should I take it out now?
Let's just wait. It makes me nervous. Haley reaches into her coat pocket, pulls out the key given to her, and slides it into the lock.
And you hear the click as the lock turns. It slides slowly, receding into the door. And as it pops back, you sort of feel the door press forward to you a bit and draw it towards you, echoing a loud creak into the long hallway of the ground floor, just as the last bit of outside light disappears.
Now, there might be squatters in here. I don't know, there might be broken windows around. I haven't fully inspected the place. Let's just be careful.
Why don't you go on ahead? I'll be right behind you.
All right. And with one hand on my flashlight, one hand on the butt of my pistol, I begin walking through the hallway and to the main floor of the house.
Perfect. So, as you shine your light down the long hallway, you see the wooden slats sort of bent and, almost warped slightly over time. There are 3 doors looking along the left side of the room. These sort of seem smaller. Maybe storage rooms, bathrooms, you're not sure yet. To your immediate right, there is a large double door to what you would guess is maybe the living room, and then a long hallway and the last door. It seems at the very far end of this hall looks to be stairs.
Leading up or down?
You can't quite see from this far away. The entire house is bathed in darkness.
So we're just looking into a long corridor right now. 3 doors on the left, a double door on the right, and a door at the end of the hallway.
Bingo bango.
Got it.
All right. I move to the door to the right and I test the door handle. The living room doors?
Yeah, it opens. And you shine your light in. And as you open it, it sort of, again, creaks softly in the dull evening light. The room sort of contains conventional furniture, radio, couch, some stuffed chairs. Shelves are laden with knickknacks. You can't help but notice the unusual quantities of crosses, images of the Virgin, other Catholic artifacts.
What do you make of these? Something to do with the Church of Contemplation?
Oh, it seems to be Christian symbols. Let me take a closer look. I'm going to roll spot hidden.
Yeah.
That is a 19, so I did a hard success.
The light sort of dances around the living room as your eyes sort of peer on it. You don't see anything really jumping out at you, except for a body. No, but you do see... You notice that the windows seem a little peculiar. And as you sort of lean forward and walk into the room slightly, there are 3 windows in this room. One facing the front of the house that you saw from the outside with a sheet sort of drawn over it. And 2 others facing the side of the house, but all windows seem to be nailed shut.
Curious. Do you see this, Ben? Look, the windows, they're nailed shut. I can't even budge one.
Maybe they did this after he passed away. Close up the house to prevent squatting.
Is that common?
I mean, I've seen it with foreclosed houses or evicted places. Yeah. I mean...
You're probably right. Is this a 2-story house? 3-story house? Do we see
2-story house. As you walk in, you're sort of shining the light around, and you see that this room leads into a second room with a large dining table in it. And in fact, it leads to a third room, which you kind of see the corner of what looks to be a kitchen table.
And this is going toward the back of the house, the same direction as the hallway?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, based on all of that... No, we'll wait a minute.
All right. Next room.
All right.
So again, when you entered, there was a door to your immediate left as well.
All right, I moved to that door. Check that out.
Back across the hallway.
Yeah. As you exit the living room and walk towards this first sort of room to your left, you sort of get this uneasy feeling in your stomach as your hand touches the knob.
Hold on. I'm feeling weird.
Yeah, I feel it too. Sort of
What room
a
would this be?
queasy feeling.
What room would this be? Like a study, or it's not the living room?
It's a small room, so you're not too sure.
Just a small room with no furniture in it?
Have you opened it?
We haven't opened it yet. No.
Oh, no.
I put my hand on the handle and I didn't feel good about it. I'm just going on intuition here, but something feels weird about this one now.
I say we open it. Heedlessly.
All right,
Kick the door down.
all right, well then you be my guest, I say as I pull out my piece.
I do it. I kick down the door.
And give me a strength roll.
I'm the strongest woman in the world. It's not true.
Yes, it is.
Second strongest.
But I do it! I do a critical success with a 9.
Holy fuck, Joe.
So
I just
good.
karate kick.
Amazing.
This is
Horseshoe butt Haley Simmons. Horseshoe Haley.
Haley.
Yeah, you lean back and you just kick the fuck out of this door, and it splinters as the door goes flying in, and it bounces off the wall and sort of starts bouncing back. And I mean, it was unlocked, but nice kick. And you walk and you look in, and the first thing you notice is the room is filled with boxes and sort of other junk, rusted water tanks, an old bicycle. At the right end of the room, there is a cupboard boarded shut.
What do you think's in this cupboard, Ben? Any guesses? As Haley walks across the room, sort of looking both ways at the junk that's piled around and getting her fingernails in between the board and the cupboard.
I am posting the floor plan of the ground floor under evidence because at this point you sort of know the layout, not too important. So now you can.
So I'm drawing something for no reason.
I'm so sorry.
With my shoulders up, I say, I'll probably find Shina. I say as I raise the gun to just cover as she tries to open it.
Okay, and you open it.
I pry the board off.
Yeah. So you pull the board down and you open it, and as you do, it creaks loudly as if it hasn't been opened in years. And you see some bound books inside. 3 of them, to be precise.
What is it?
All right. Well, we have some volumes here. Let me just take a look. She starts leafing through the first book that comes to hand.
And
What's the title?
they're blank, and as you kind of flick through a few pages, you see the signature, W. Corbett.
If there's a dictionary, look up inauspicious.
This no, shush. This is very interesting. These books are written by Corbett, by Mr. Corbett. It's fascinating because in his will he bequeathed all his possessions to the church. Now, that being so, why do you suppose we have some books of his here at this house 100 years later? Very curious. What are the books sort of about, largely?
It's 3 journals. There's a series of passages. It's going to take some time to read, or you can do sort of a quick leaf through. Which book, how much, you just let me know. You'd have to sit down and like read page after page after page. It'd take a few hours.
I pick up the second journal and I open to the middle and I read a random page.
Perfect. Done. This is what you read. I'm posting it in the evidence.
Yeah. November the 30th, 1835. The grantor of secrets has answered my wishes. Henry Weber has fallen ill, which I'm certain he will not recover from. I write this as I leave to purchase the deed to 20 Sheaf Street. Okay, wait. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, Corbett cursed Henry Weber, or he believed that he did, and then bought the house. So he intended...
You also see, as you're sort of looking, your eyes go to the passage on the other page. You read this as well.
You read this as well.
No.
Just kidding.
No.
November the 23rd, 1835. Henry Weber has recently built a house on 20 Sheaf Street. Wait. Are you sure that's the date? That's... Oh, on the previous
It's the day
page.
previous. Yep.
Yes. November the 23rd, 1835. Henry Weber has recently built a house on 20 Sheaf Street. As it is a short walk from the church, I wish to possess the estate. I pray that our Dark Lord will provide me with the means to remove Mr. Weber from his home. Hold on. And so he says it's a short walk from the church. You don't suppose, Ben, the church is somewhere around here and we haven't even seen it? Do you think the cigar man has anything to do with this?
Church went up in flames, I imagine, years ago, right?
Oh, did it?
Well,
I must have...
entire chapel
Well,
up in
probably.
flames.
I must have missed that part.
That's what it says at the end. Quickly took a lantern from the wall and broke it on the stone floor, sending the entire chapel up in flames.
So
even if there was a chapel, I don't think it's there anymore.
fair enough. All right.
Well,
Do you exit
you
this room
keep
for
reading
now, or-
through there. I'm going to take a look around.
Okay. As you step out into the hallway, you sort of walk through what feels like a cold patch. Just sort of sends a shiver up your spine as you move towards the next door.
I don't like this. The next door is... So I'm just trying to pull up the map here. Okay. So we went into the living room on the right, then there was... Yeah, okay, so the next door on the left, right?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go to knock on the door, and then I catch myself, and I kind of chuckle as I reach down, and I open the handle, turn the handle.
And it opens with a heavy sort of weight. It almost drags across the floor. And you see a room that contains some old furniture. Might be broken up to burn in a wood stove, but other than that, it seems pretty empty.
I'm gonna do a spot hidden anyway.
Please do.
All right. No, I got a 98.
You see nothing.
Nothing. Oh, there's something in my eye. Damn it. It's dusty fucking house. All right, and I close the door behind me. And, say, hey, you all right? Mrs. Simmons?
Oh, what's that? I'm sorry. Where are you? I got all caught up in this book.
Just in the next room over. Doesn't look like there's much in here. Careful of the dust. I got some dust in my eye while I was looking around.
Ben, you step out of the room sort of feeling that it's clear, and as you begin walking towards the room, Haley, you both pause for a moment. Above you, you hear creaking. And as your eyes drift up towards the wooden slats signifying the second floor, you see them slightly press with the weight of someone walking on them. As they walk down the hall from the direction of the front door, you're silent as small bits of dust sort of float down amongst the penlight that Ben holds, and a chill grows up your spine as you see the indentations continue on towards the end. And when they get just above Ben's head and small flecks of dust sort of touch on his hat, it runs to the far end of the hall. The loud noise almost jarring you both in the moment as you spin around towards the stairs at the end of the hall. Your penlight dances sort of shakily as you watch the stairs, and you hear a creaking and the heavy footsteps of something descending the stairs. And you wait.
We should hide.
Yeah. All right. I've got my gun out, and I slowly start backing up and following her lead.
And before you can hide, you hear the steps. Broom, broom. You feel the reverberations on your own floor. And yet, your penlight points at nothing. And you hear nothing else. Give me a sanity roll, everybody.
That is another stat I did not roll, as I'm using a pre-gen.
Pre-Jennifer?
A pregan, if you will.
I succeeded my sanity roll. 31 out of 40.
Nice. Sandy is...
Sandy?
Sandy. Yeah, I don't remember what sanity is to roll it up. Whatever. I think it's equal to your power.
As a sanity clause.
I don't remember.
Let's ask the community. How do I do a sanity?
They know all. They know
You have some clever folks.
For now, just take whatever Justin has in it. What's your sanity, Justin?
40.
Just take 40, and you rolled under it, so you're good. Did you both roll under it?
I rolled a 73.
Yeah, no. So you take 1d4 points of sanity. So roll a 1d4.
I rolled a 1.
So you take 1 point of sanity.
Oh,
From
that's not
whatever
bad.
it is that I
From
had.
40.
From now 40, so you're at 39 now. If my math is correct. Yeah, just ran the numbers. Sanity equals power. I thought so. What's your power, Joe?
65.
So your sanity is 65. You still failed, so 64 though. Much better. All right, so you're standing in the hallway. Justin has checked the second room and the first room. You've sort of investigated the living room. There is a third room and obviously the dining room and the kitchen.
Perhaps we should go investigate the kitchen? Perhaps we should go investigate the kitchen.
Are you all right, though? I wasn't normal.
No, of course, but there's nothing there.
What do you think it was? You think it was a ghost? Or just the house being old and creaky?
I don't want to think about it.
All right. Let's keep going. I've got my gun. We're protected. I say as we move forward. Where did you say we should go next?
Maybe the kitchen.
Kitchen. All right. You just tell me where I'm going.
Into the hall.
Yeah.
And to the right.
All right.
You go first.
Yeah, I am. I've got my gun drawn, and the kitchen door is slightly ajar.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of knock it open with the muzzle of my gun.
It's like door sounds, the game.
Yeah, you know what? I'm good at them.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. It looks like a conventional kitchen. It's got an ice box, a wood-fed stove, oven, plus a larder. Yeah. I mean, you take a quick look around. There's some canned soup, canned meat, rice kernels, some pastas, some homemade wine.
You hungry? I say as I hold up one of the cans of soup that aren't even labeled.
I have no appetite. I like to spot hidden.
Oh.
Spot hidden.
Spidden.
Spot hidden.
Wah, 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 wah.
Pretend
You see nothing.
Pretend I said nothing. What kind of soup is that? Oh. Cool. So, Ben.
Yeah.
I wasn't dreaming, was I? We heard that same footstep, and I think we should go upstairs. But I'm afraid.
Okay, what happened here? 100 years ago. This Corbett cursed this, what was his name, Weber? The original
That's right,
person
yeah.
here.
Weber built the house.
All right. We know that Corbett's been buried here.
We presume.
And we can maybe presume that Weber died on this property as well. Now this is...
And a family of 5, I believe.
Family of 5. Did they all die?
I seem to remember.
BAM! The door of the kitchen slams behind you as you're talking.
Oh.
I spin towards it with my gun up. Anything? Shining my light in the direction?
You see a closed door.
Do we hear anything? Do we smell anything?
Give me a listen roll.
What about a smell roll?
You can give me a smell roll too.
I have a 30 in listen and smell. I got triple zeros, which is
100. It's the worst possible roll.
well.
That's very lucky.
So my eyes fall out of my head, and I die.
From listening?
Ah! My eyes and my ears! My eyes fell into my ears!
You're okay. It's all right. You're not dying. Your eyes are fine. They're all right. No.
What's gonna happen to us?
Okay. What do you think it is? All right. Let's forget about fucking logic here, all right? We've read about the things that happen. It sounds supernatural, I think is the word you used, all right? So let's just pretend that this isn't some squatter playing tricks on us, all right? Let's pretend.
I think it's the ghost of Mr. Corbett, that his body's in the basement, and that he's driving everyone mad who lives here.
Yeah, but maybe it's not Mr. Corbett. Maybe it's Weber. I mean, if he died here too, there's a chance that it could be him. I mean, I don't know anything about the supernatural, but we've got 2 guys who died here.
Do you think there's more than one presence here?
I don't know. Let's go upstairs. Maybe we can learn more about the families that lived here before.
All right.
You go to leave the kitchen and your light sort of flashes over the sink filled with dirty dishes, and you go towards the door of the kitchen. Or do you exit through the dining room?
Let's exit through the dining room.
Good.
Haley grabs a sharp knife while she's in there.
Okay. Load up with a sharp knife. Give me a luck roll.
For real?
Well, I don't know.
92.
You find a butter knife that's bent.
I'll protect us.
It's like, yeah, so you enter the dining room. Complete with a long mahogany table, built-in sideboard, 7 chairs. 3 places are set, but unused. Scraps of rice soup rot in a tureen.
Spot hidden.
Sure.
14. Critical, nope. Hard success. I find a big knife.
You notice that a bit of the rice looks like it's been eaten by mice.
This is mice rice.
Actually, it's rat rice.
This place gives me the creeps.
Actually gives you the willies.
It gives me the creepy willies.
And
that's like my uncle.
Creepy willies.
I shine my flashlight on the floor at the mention of mice rice, and I look to see if there's any droppings.
No.
No droppings?
Not up here.
Fuck. Ever had a mouse infestation, Harlan?
No.
No.
You haven't?
Of course I have.
Yeah, okay.
You guys have seen my house.
That's
but
yeah. it's weird.
I've literally cleaned mouse shit off of your floor.
I would say, as a character, this is weird. Because if there were rats eating the rice here, then there would definitely be droppings, because they shit like crazy.
Ugh, I hate rodents. This is just vile.
Well, I hate ghosts, but we're still here.
I'm gonna kill a ghost with this knife.
That doesn't sound like a very good idea. I don't know a lot about ghosts, but that doesn't seem wise.
I reckon we should go upstairs. Let's see where all this is coming from.
Alright, up we go. Hey, you don't reckon you want to lead, do you?
If you give me that flashlight, I will.
Well, you know, I mean, this house does have lights.
Does it really?
Of course.
I thought it was spooky and haunted.
It can be.
Well, we're doing this wrong. Oh my god.
Let me turn on the lights.
Why didn't we do this way earlier?
Click, and the lights turn on.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess I don't need to waste my pen light battery.
Alright. I'll go first. And Haley walks cautiously toward the back stairs. Creak, creak, creak.
Towards the back stairs?
Yeah, the stairs that led up where the footsteps came down from.
Okay. You never checked that third room on the other side, though.
Should
you don't have to. I'm just letting you know.
She opens the door on her way down the hallway, just to see.
And you see the grisly figure. No, you see overcoats, galoshes, hats, umbrellas, some bags of coal for the living room's freestanding stove. You notice that the side door is secured with 3 bolts and 2 locks.
There's another door.
Mm-hmm.
When you make it this
outside.
Well secured as well. Isn't the same side of the house as the arbor?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they didn't want anyone going into the back garden. We'll come now. Should we go upstairs?
Well, how do you suppose we open this thing? If we wanted to investigate that room too.
Oh, it's just out to the garden, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
You can go
You
around
can
the
open
side
it.
of the house.
Yeah.
Well, like you say. Oh, I see. Right.
Like this. Gotta make the eat.
Does it look like it's newly renovated, or does it look like it fits the rest of the house?
In the last few years.
All right, so this is a new addition. So then this would have been not Corbett. This would have been the last family who put this in.
Possible. Maybe the one before that.
I guess so. All right, you're right. We can leave it for now. I've got my gumption about me again. I'll take the lead up the stairs.
All right.
Step by step, you ascend the stairs. You hear the creaking that you've already heard, a few minutes ago when something was walking down. And as you reach the top step, the hall lights up here are off. There's a separate switch on the wall.
Click.
And the lights don't work.
Oh, I guess it's a good thing I brought this then. And I turn on my flashlight. Try to.
Perfect. Yeah, it illuminates the hall.
All right. What do we see?
You see a similar sight. You see a long hallway. Kind of forgot. I was like, okay, so go do what you're going to do. It's like, oh yeah, you don't know what you look at right now.
We turn on the light and...
You see a long hallway. You see a small door to your left and about 3 other doors along this hallway. Other than that, it's just straight shoot. There are 3 windows on the right side. That's about it.
I look at the window. Is it nailed shut?
Yes, it is.
Maybe you're right then, Ben, about all these windows being nailed shut. Being that it would be to keep out vagrants. But maybe it's to keep something in.
Yeah.
What was that? I opened the first door.
You brazenly open and you see a bathroom containing a sink, bathtub, water closet, overhead tank. Towels and other possessions are still here, typical for a family of 4. A brackish pool of water is collected in the bathtub, fed by a dripping faucet which cannot quite be closed.
Haley walks slowly, ponderously into the bathroom with the light of Ben's pen light following her. She traces a hand over the sink and stands and looks into the tarnished mirror at her face, wondering what it would have been like to be one of the
And as you're looking
family members.
As you're looking at yourself in the mirror, Ben sort of is looking around and his light sort of flashes across the mirror, and for a second you see the figure of something else standing directly behind you.
She lets out a blood-curdling scream, which I won't do. To say
What?
my
What?
name.
What is it? What is it? Haley! Haley!
She whips around. Is there anything behind me?
No, just Ben standing there. Give me a sanity roll.
Well, 59. 56. I'm fine.
Nice. So yeah, you're okay. You think it was your mind playing tricks on you?
I'm sorry, Ben. I thought there was certainly something just behind me.
What did you see? What
Or just a
what
tall,
was just behind you?
dark. I thought it was a ghost.
Handsome.
No, not like that. I'm sorry. I'm letting my imagination run away with me. All right.
It's all right. You're fine. You're fine. Okay. You saw it when you looked in the mirror, huh?
Yes. She turns on the taps.
Yeah, and water comes out.
Regular old water.
Regular old water.
She splashes her face with it a little bit.
Which reminds me, as a fun post-game thing, remind me about this bathroom and the brackish water.
I will.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty normal.
Okay. What's next, Ben?
Next room, I guess, if you're okay. You're fine, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Totally fine.
This way. And I start making my way to the next room, and I slowly twist the knob and push open this door.
And you see a room containing a bed frame, bare bed springs, and a dresser. Though unused, this room looks like... Never mind.
Looks like it could be a kid's room.
No, I was going to say it looks like the other two bedrooms, but you haven't seen the other two yet. No, it's just a single lone bed. Doesn't really look used.
I go through the drawers tentatively.
Yeah, so you walk into the room and you walk over to the dresser and give me a spot hidden.
I will not.
No. Yeah, no, you don't see anything.
99.
Am I
But
allowed
as
to
you're
do a spot hidden as well, or?
Sure. As you're examining the room, there's also a window in this room, and you also hear sort of like almost like a creaking, like when there's a snap in glass and someone is pushing the glass, like that. You sort of hear it coming from the window. And yeah, Ben, you walk over to the same dresser and sort of look through.
Yeah, I succeed. It's a critical or a hard success.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you don't really see anything. It's only a hard success?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But you do hear this rattle coming as well. So both Haley and you hear this rattle sort of coming from the window.
As Ben is rooting through the chest of drawers, Haley slowly approaches the window, and it's dark outside.
Perfect. Yeah, it is. And you see
She
sort of
moves to look outside.
you see the back garden, and you see sort of a tree swaying softly. Give me a spot hidden roll.
62.
Success?
Uh-uh.
No. Perfect. Okay.
Good. Perfect and good.
What happens next happens in an instant. Ben, you spin as you see the bed in the room flip. It flies with force stronger than you've ever seen towards Haley as it smashes into her. Haley, the bed attacks you and you are thrown through the broken glass window. You fall through shards of glass into the backyard. You take 1d6 plus 2 damage.
Oof. It's actually not bad.
No, how many hit points do you have though?
Infinity.
Oh, dude.
I take 6 points of damage, which means I have 6 left.
Good. And you slam on the ground as you hear the thunder crack above you. The bed, from your perspective, Ben, sort of falls back down and slams as you're watching all this. Give me a sanity roll. All this happens in an instant as you hear her scream echo out the shards of glass on the wall and on the ground outside.
No dice.
1d4 sanity.
3.
Yeah.
So I'm down to 37.
There you go.
Haley! Haley! And I bolt into the hallway and run down the stairs.
Yeah, and you come to the back door, which has the 3 bolts on it.
No. I go to the front door.
Okay, and you run around. Haley, as you do, you're lying in this sort of almost soft garden bed, cuts all over your face, your arms sort of just stinging with pain, your leg twisted. And as the sky cracks above you with a clash of thunder and you hear Ben's voice, you look back up to the window and you see a figure standing there. It's an old man, ancient almost, but he smiles as he steps back into the darkness of the room. Give me a sanity roll.
Perfect. 4.
Succeed, yeah. You take 1 point of sanity. Sorry, you still take sanity. You still saw a fucking figure after falling out of a window.
Whatever. Just old man Williker.
And as you sort of question what you saw, the figure is gone. Ben runs around the corner.
Miss Simmons! Miss Simmons, you all right? Here, don't move. There might be something to your spine. Can you feel your toes?
Yes, I'm all right. What happened, man?
Something threw that mattress against the window. It pushed you out. You're okay, though?
There's blood pouring out of her nose. She's like, yes. Yes, I'm all right. I saw a figure upstairs in the window.
Take this. Here. I hand her my scarf.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
All
And
right.
I saw an old man up there.
Is someone in there?
Yes.
Did he look like an old man, or did he look like a ghost? Or...
It just looked like an old man. Unsettling.
All right. Okay. Well, it's up to you. If you want to leave right now, we can. We don't have to finish this. It may not be worth the money. So, you're hurt. We could take you to the hospital. We could forget about the whole thing. Tell Mr. Knott that it's not gonna happen. He should just burn the house, sell his property, and forget about it.
I would like to roll for an idea.
Sure.
I.e. a DM intervention.
DM intervention.
43 against what is my idea? 75. So that's a success, but not a hard success. Where do we go from here?
Well, there's still 2 rooms to investigate, but you've read some articles that stated what Corbett requested of his body.
Yeah, wanted to be interned into the basement of the house. Ben, I think we just have to wrap up the loose ends. We just have to go down into the basement and
Carve ourselves a witch.
we just have to, finish the story and then we can report back.
I definitely feel a pang of regret as she said that, but I stoically nod and say, let me help you up, miss.
Oh, all right.
Easy.
Yes. Okay. Let's get this over
Go
with.
downstairs.
We head back into the house, and as we do, Haley's vision is like accosted with these flashes of light, almost as she's having this I don't know. She's terrified. All right. I guess we just go down here. Where are the stairs down? Is it just underneath?
It's at the end of the hall. Here, I saw it when we were going up the stairs.
And you approach the basement door. It has a lock and 3 bolts, but it's only able to be opened from this side. You open it and begin down the steps. They're in poor repair, and the electric light bulb at the bottom of the stairs does not work. The walls of the basement are lined with closely fitted boards.
I know this one. We go back upstairs, we unscrew one of the light bulbs, and we screw it in downstairs, and ghosts are gone, right?
Yep.
Just light a candle there, and it's fine.
Damn, I shouldn't have told you yes.
Close-fitting floorboards on the floor. Floorboards on the floor.
Closely fitted boards on the wall.
On the wall. Hardwood walls.
Hold up. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna stick my ear to the side of the boards and listen carefully.
Give me a listen.
You want me to roll?
Yeah. No, just listen.
I'm not hearing anything. All right, here we go. I got a 19. That's pretty good. Now let's see.
Yeah, you hear some mouse, some rat scratching.
How afraid of rodents are you?
Well, I think, Ben, if you'd asked me earlier today, I would have said it's probably my biggest fear, but I don't know anymore.
Yeah, you just got thrown out of a window by some sort of old man apparition. I'd say rodents are the least of our problems.
Haley starts walking the floor of the basement. What's the floor made of?
Well, you still have to go down the steps. So as you head down the steps...
Oh.
Sorry, who goes first?
Oh, I had my head against the boards, though. Isn't that...
I thought you meant at
in
the
the
top.
basement already.
Yeah, if you're walking down, whoever goes down first, say Ben, give me a dex roll. Or climb.
Dexterity or climb? Let me see which is better. Climb is 20. Dexterity is 60. I will do dexterity. .31 success.
Nice. So you can tell that the stairs are very dangerous. The last 5 of them.
Watch it. These ones are pretty rotted through.
And I'm going to say this is going to give a bonus to your spot hidden, Haley. So give me a spot hidden roll.
And I do. 39. That is a success.
Perfect. Yeah, you can tell that a few of the boards are rotted out, and if you had fallen through them, you would have definitely hurt yourself. So you skip those, and you arrive at the bottom of the stairs. You're sort of in a small room that I will share with you right now. Come now. Where is this?
Come to mama.
Come to mama. There you go. There is a small storage room sort of behind you as you come down the stairs, and some trash bins.
I look in the bins.
They are filled with nothing but garbage, refuse, and they're pretty rotten.
Gross.
Very
Haley
gross.
wipes
Take
her hands
1d6
on her
gross
coat.
damage.
I take all the gross damage. This is like every nightmare I've ever had. Should we go in the storage room?
Well, chances are that's where they buried him.
Is it a dirt floor?
It is a dirt floor down here.
Let's go.
I look around the room. Is there anything else? Shovel.
Give me a spot hidden.
To hide a shovel.
I'm doing it too.
Boom, 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 boom.
I succeed regularly.
Yeah,
regularly.
so the regular success. I mean, there's tools, pipe, a trash can lid, obviously, some lumber, nails, screws, so forth. Haley, I'm going to say, yeah, you find something tucked behind some boards, and it's a knife.
Tucked behind some boards.
Sort of like piled on the boards. In fact, the boards that are piled are similar to the ones on the wall.
Is the knife stained with blood?
It is definitely an old knife with an ornate hilt. Its blade is coated with oddly thick rust.
Mm-hmm. Oddly thick?
Mm-hmm.
Can I examine the knife further
Absolutely.
without picking it up?
Absolutely.
What do you want me to roll?
What would you like to roll on it?
I would like to roll a investigate knife.
Oh, what's your stat for that?
I have a first aid of 30. I don't know if that's like a medicine check. Oh, medicine. No, that's
yeah,
entirely
no.
different.
I would
Natural
say
world,
sure.
maybe?
What are you
That's
trying to
a 10%
find out
chance.
about this?
I want to know if the unusually thick rust is blood.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's do medicine then.
Cool. I mean, medicine is it's 1% chance.
Okay, then natural world. Whatever's going to be better.
That at least is a 10% chance.
Sure. Or you can just taste it.
Nope. 89. I
About
pick up
first
the
aid.
knife and I look at it under the intermittent light that is flashing nearby me from Ben's pen light as he investigates the rest of the room. Hold it up.
Perfect.
Check it out.
Yeah, I mean, as you're looking around this room, that's about all you see.
There's a knife.
It doesn't look like it could be. I don't know. It's very ornate. Could it be used in some sort of ritual or something? You see anything about this in the books upstairs?
Well, Ben, they mentioned a knife in a couple of different news stories. Maybe this is the knife. It certainly isn't the one that I found upstairs. She hefts the other one like Ben's blade.
All right. You hold on to that. You might need to use it. I say as I move
all
towards
right.
the end of the room.
All right. Should we go into the other door?
Might as well.
And as you open the door, you see a storage bin intended for coal.
Huh. I look around the room. I'm gonna do a spot hidden in this smaller area.
Sure.
Me too. Spot hidden is the only skill in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And yet it hasn't really helped you at all in this game that much.
81.
I got a success.
Yeah, no, you don't see anything in this room. Seems like just a cold.
I
In fact-
open up the coal bin.
It's nailed shut.
I open it up anyway.
Okay, so you open it up and $1,000 pour out.
Woo!
And then they vanish and you realize the coal
There's
bin's
coal
still
in the
nailed
other
shut.
room. I like
'cause you're going
pull-
crazy.
I get a hammer and I pry it open.
With a knife.
Sure. Okay. You pry it open. I won't make you do a strength roll because you're spending time doing it. And you pry it open and it's just been nailed shut because it's not being used anymore. There's nothing in it.
Well, you know, Ben, I feel like we did our due diligence here at the house. We found some spooky ghosts, and maybe we should just go home.
I was hoping you were gonna say that, miss. After me, I say as I start making my way through the basement back to the stairs.
Perfect. So as you begin walking towards the stairs, make a power roll, Ben.
Power roll Ben. They call me Power roll Ben. Yeah, fail. Yeah.
Roll a 1d6 plus 1.
Yeah. I'm living in the 21st century, doing something mean to it. All right, here we go. All right, 4.
Okay. You hear a voice in your head, and it says, "Stop." And for all you can muster as you sort of stand at the bottom of the stairs, you just freeze.
Ben, go on up now.
Draw your gun. And you can feel your hand reaching towards your gun. And you hear this voice in your head, and it's telling you that it wants you to kill Haley. And I'm going to let you act that out first and foremost. You'll have a chance to combat it, but I'll let you do that.
If you want to.
Haley.
Yes?
Step against that wall. Step against that wall, Haley.
What do you mean? We're going upstairs.
Back wall. The back wall across from the bins.
Ben?
Just put your back against it. No, actually, face it. Face the wall.
Put your gun away.
It's just back against the wall, Haley. Do it, Haley. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Oh, you're scaring me, Ben.
Just fucking put your fucking head against the fucking wall, Haley!
She's backing up a step at a time, kind of unwillingly, but she just doesn't want to be close to him.
And you can feel your hand sort of raising the gun. You can give me another power roll to sort of combat the effects.
Let's see here.
Oof.
Failure.
Yeah, so no, you continue feeling your sort of hand raise the gun as she's sort of pressed against the wall. And I'm going to let you sort of role play this out. Are you trying to fight this feeling?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm shaking my head the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, we have to go right now.
Did you have a nice fall?
Haley, you can use Haley, you can use any sort of persuade or intimidate or fast talk or anything you want against trying to combat him.
She's gonna try to run past him.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's call this. If you're moving, he's gonna fire. So you can do a firearms roll, Justin, and you can do a dodge roll, Haley. I mean, Joe. You need to either pick that I'm using character names or pick that I'm using real names.
I failed my firearms.
Well, that's lucky.
And I barely failed my dodge.
Okay.
44 of 40.
So here's what happens. This is interesting. So, Justin, Ben raises his gun towards you as you're sort of stricken with fear, wanting to move. And as his eyes grow dark and almost you see the whites of his eyes begin to fade, he fires and the sound echoes through the basement just as you sort of flinch to the left. However, the bullet doesn't bounce off the wall. It sings clear through. In fact, it sings through the wall and you hear it hit something on the far side of this wall behind you. And Justin, you're sort of broken out of it as the gunfire sings out through you, and you don't even remember what you're doing. You open your eyes holding this gun. And Haley, as you sort of spin to see where the bullet went, you see that there's actually a dim light coming from the bullet hole that just sunk through the wall behind you.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Haley, I think we need to go. I think I blacked out for the last few minutes. What happened?
You're gonna kill me.
Oh, and I look at the gun in my hand and I drop it instinctively. I say, oh, no, I would never. I would never, Miss Simmons.
Yes, you would. You were going to. I don't know what's happening in this house. I don't know what's doing to you. Or what we're seeing. Or what's back there, but I can't do this any longer.
We made a fucking pact when we came in here that if any of us started feeling weird, we would get the hell out. Well, I'm getting out. I'm getting the fuck out of here, Haley. You can finish this if you want to, but I'm going. I'm leaving.
Go. You should go, Ben.
Yeah. And big, tough Ben Whitaker, shaking, runs back through the threshold, and you hear his footsteps rattle up the stairs and along the hallway to the outside of the house.
Haley's heart is just beating like a hammer in her chest, but she can't not look. She turns around and slowly approaches the bullet hole in the wall that's leaking the only light into the basement. She tries to walk silently as she crosses the dark room, and we see her face illuminated as she slowly puts her eye up toward the bullet hole to see what lies beyond.
Lying motionless and seemingly dead on a pallet in the center of the room you're looking into is a drawn, wooden-looking, wizened figure of some 6 feet. Skinny and naked, with ghastly wide, flaring saucer-like eyes and a nose like a knife blade. Some sort of chain rests around his neck. He's lost all of his hair, and his shrunken gums make his teeth look very long. And while you're looking, you can almost smell this sharp, sweet, churning scent like rotten corn. And as you sort of lean back, the boards themselves begin to sort of splinter and fall as if it's easy to push through.
Haley puts her hand against the wall and whispers, "What manner of devil are you?"
And yeah, you just kind of, I guess, give me a sanity roll.
I will. 7.
Nice. So you're just take 1 point of sanity.
And then I think she leaves.
Okay.
Or tries to.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, she can definitely try to leave. I think as you're sort of looking at this creature, you feel this voice in your head, and it sort of stops you at the stairs. Same sort of feeling that you watched Ben just take care of. And as you are walking up the stairs, the voice says, "Stop. Come back to me."
I fight it. I fight that feeling.
Yeah, give me a power roll. Give me a power play.
Can't fight the feeling.
54. I won.
Did you succeed power?
Yeah.
By how much? Regular success?
Regular.
Okay, he regular succeeded as well. But who did it by more? He succeeded by only 9 points.
I succeeded. It's a 54 against my power of 65, 9 points. Did you say 9 points?
Oh, yeah. Let's roll again then, I guess. That's fine.
Do it. Yeah.
His is
I
90,
failed.
That's why.
That was a hard fail.
Yeah, no, he succeeds. So you fight it at first, and you like feel like you can grab it, and you take a step.
I feel like we exactly tied.
Mm-hmm. And then he like stops you, and he's like, "Come back to me." And as you feel this like force walking towards you, towards this board, he's like, "I have waited for something, anything, to help feed my rats." And you can feel yourself, your hands coming up towards you and peeling off the wood before you. And as you do, all the wood sort of splinters and reveals this man in the slab. And he rises and turns and sits on the end of his wooden slab, smiling in the dim light. as you hear the scratching on either side of these hollow, sort of separate between these rooms, and you feel these rats begin around your feet as you can't move, and they slowly crawl up and crawl up higher and begin nibbling at your flesh as you scream and scream as they climb higher and higher towards your head and begin pulling your hair and eating your ears and diving into your mouth and eyes, and you are consumed alive by the rats that live in the basement of the Corbett house. The end. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Call of Cthulhu the Haunting.
I died from a rat.
You died from a rat. There were so many ways you could die. We got to the basement too slow. Unfortunately, that's the problem with Call of Cthulhu. Not your fault at all. It's like, you got to learn a little bit, but like, I think it probably should be a 2-session game anyway. But what a lot of fun. You guys did so great. I'm so happy. Buddy. How much of that did you remember, Justin?
Game. What's that?
Did you remember any of that?
I do. I remember the mattress for sure.
Yeah.
The bed flinging into somebody. I think that happened to Jenny. Did it happen to Jenny?
Yeah. Fell right down. Almost died the same way too.
Yeah. Oh, what was it about the murky water?
Yeah, the brackish water.
Brackish water.
When I first played this game, this is actually really funny. When I first played this game with you guys, I misread it and I said blackish water. And I remember you guys got so obsessed with why this water was black. And I was like, oh, well, you know, and I sort of just made it into this mysterious thing. But you guys were like, okay, we got to get a sample of the black water and we're going to go into town and we're going to get it tested. I was like, oh, fuck, all from a misspeak. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Corbett house. Look at Halloween Bingo.
Oh, Halloween Bingo, what did we get?
Almost all, but no cell phone reception. Or from one line. Oh, we did get a full line.
She got a bingo, yeah. No death
she got
by sex.
Sink of dirty dishes. I'll be right back. Good ghost. I don't know what that is. And then possession. Definitely, she got it all there. Well done, Carly.
It was Carly who was gonna get the. Who you were mentioning for the.
Well, guess what? Carly gets endgame because of that fucking awesome Halloween bingo win.
Carly.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and we went a little bit over, so we're going to end up quick. This Saturday, all day, is Extra Life 24 freaking hours. Be there. Help us raise money for sick kids. My name, of course, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie. I had so much fun. Joe and Justin are here. And as my good friend Justin always likes to say... And I'm just going to wave. Good night.